see us now.
Okay.
Come on. Live.
Yep.
Yay. Are we paused?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because you hit mute right. Yeah, there you go.
Boom. Hello, guys.
Hello, everyone. We're still trying to figure out our chat thing. We thought we had it, but maybe we don't. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still not popping up. What the heck? That's so obnoxious. So you guys can't hear us. Or you can
should be able to hear us.
You can hear us, but you can't see our. We've been trying to type you guys messages while we were waiting, and I guess we can't see it yet. Got to figure that out. That's so obnoxious. Yay. Oh, we got a lot of first timers on here today.
Yep. Welcome, guys.
We got a ton of questions earlier too. People have been emailing us, and so let's see. My mom said yes. So that cover photo is a picture of me and my dad. It was my first day of kindergarten, and my mom took me to my dad's office she wanted to get a picture of me with my dad on my very first day of school. And we had to like sneak in, and I wasn't able to reference him as dad. We hurried and got the picture and then snuck back out of his office. And then my mom said, "Who's Heather that you're referring to?" It's Mom. She's another user that is so kind. Thank you, Heather. And like giving people instruction on like how to say hi or how to follow us.
Yep.
So, yay. Oh, thank you. I am feeling so much better. Yeah, life has been
running circles around us. So
no, not quite yet, but definitely getting so much better. So it's
good going, Ashley.
Been a couple weeks. What? I set an alarm for this and actually remembered what the alarm was for. That's funny. Yeah, we did too. We ran to do a bunch of errands this morning, and we're like, we have to be back in time to figure out the chat thing, but we still haven't figured it out. So
if you hear rumbling, we've got a nice thunderstorm.
It is. It's storming outside.
It's not my stomach. So
yeah, it is storming outside and pouring rain. I don't know. My mom lives about hour and almost 2 hours away from us. I don't know if it's raining down where she's at, but it's really loud here right now with the thunder.
Jamie.
So yeah.
Somebody put on a oh yes. Hi Katie. So can't wait to see you either. Somebody put on here how many nieces and nephews. Oh my gosh. I had to sit down with a piece of paper to count up how many brothers and sisters I had. So now you want the rest. I have to figure that out. So it'll be a while. So we're going to like a wedding. So I'll try to get a count on that too. Quite a few.
Okay. So we have a CK on here, the one and only. I don't know who that is. You'll have to text Cory directly because they said hi family. And then they said Montana is finally getting rain, knock out the Idaho fires. So I'm not sure who that is. I'm sure it's one of Cory's brothers or sisters somewhere. Yeah, there's so many first timers. Thank you guys. Thanks for being here. We have so many weddings to go to this year. And so we're going to be heading up to Montana here soon to go up there and go to another wedding.
Yeah.
So we're excited. We've got all of our gear. I bought some microphones for our phones because we took so much footage the last time we were up there, and we really almost can't use any of it because you can't hear us talking.
Yeah, the road or the outside noise is so bad.
Yeah, so we tried to edit that together and make like a film with it, but we couldn't because we can't even use most of the footage. So I got some microphones for us this time. So when we head up there, we're going to be taking, and when we do it, if you don't follow us on our Instagram, we'll probably do a Q&A on our Instagram. It's a 9-hour drive. What's really weird for us is that it's about an 7.5, 8-hour drive, is that we have always had a huge Suburban full of children, full of video games. We had a
Mhm.
TV in there, the video games the kids would play on the way up to Montana. And now it's like, it's just the two of us going up there. And I think in the 25 years we've been together, we've probably been to Montana twice by ourselves, maybe 3 times. So that's going to be weird. Like, but I'm excited to go. Like, I love hanging out with just you.
Yeah.
So, but I figured we might do a Q&A on our Instagram account while we're driving. So I'll put put a little question box on the Instagram, and then you guys can throw us some questions and we'll answer them while we're there. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Oh, we got a couple couple
Yeah,
of
good
questions
man.
I wanted to answer too that we got sent to us earlier.
North Dakota, I see a lot of FLDS a lot. Yeah, I guess.
Trying to find them really quick.
I wonder if they're Amish or FLDS. Probably both.
For where?
North Carolina. So Sarah says she lives in North Dakota and that see FLDS a lot.
Yeah, FLDS started a huge compound in North Carolina or North Dakota.
Nice.
So yeah, they talk about it.
okay,
Remember
yeah.
on we just watched an episode of Escaping Polygamy again.
Sorry.
We watched that the other night, and he was going to North Carolina or North
Dakota.
Jeez, our
I know, I
daughter
keep
lives in
messing
North
up
Carolina.
North Carolina. It's not North Carolina. It's North Dakota.
North
yeah.
Dakota. My
I can
goodness.
see why they'd be there. Yep.
Yeah, and so they've moved from southern Utah. A lot of them have. So but let's see. So this is a question somebody sent us when I first did the post, and I wanted to answer it. From China Clay. She says, why are the other sister wives not respected when one is announcing a pregnancy? When Solomon was announced, it caught the other moms by surprise, and I thought it was so thoughtless. Is this the way things are handled, generally speaking? Generally speaking, most sister wives don't make a public announcement like that. That I feel like that was more made for TV. At least in our family, they didn't. When it was a new wife, then yes, sometimes the announcement would be made because it's like, woohoo, we married her. Oh, we've already had sex. Oh, she's knocked up. There you go. So the whole family should celebrate it. But
Yeah,
did your family do it? Our family didn't make huge public announcements like that. You basically learned because the wife started getting bigger.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
There'd be she'd start the show and then hey, yeah, gonna have another little brother or sister coming in the family. So.
Yeah. So we did not. I think that was more made for the show than anything else. But some families I know do try to do that, but my family didn't really do that. So I think it was just
yeah. Because it was the same thing with their vision board.
Their family
vision statement or
mission statement.
That would probably be considered. Our mission statement was written down the scriptures. You followed the scriptures. That was your mission statement. So yeah, it's interesting to see how the Browns have changed, modernized some of the
that
stuff.
Was some good lightning. Jeez.
So yeah.
Yeah, you might want to increase
your volume or talk louder. There.
Yeah, so that's where I think that it was just more made for TV than anything else. Because again, I mean, my mom's on here and I guess she could confirm. I don't remember very many like pregnancy announcements in our family. I do remember one with my dad's wife because I was 14 when he married her and she got pregnant for the first time, and it was announced as something. I can't remember, just like some, but it wasn't like this big to do production. So, let's see.
Here. Well, we got lightning and thunder outside.
Yeah. So. And then I had another question that came over, and it says, as a Gentile, please explain the blessings that is given to a mother in distress. It is the same as the last rite. Is it the same as the last rites? And what is the purpose of the blessing if hell is in a handbasket? So we had talked about, we've been watching Sister Wives for the first time, and we did season 3, episode 12, and we were talking about Robin's stepdad being in the birthing room. And Cory had mentioned about him being in the birthing room for in case there was an emergency or they needed to do like a priesthood blessing. Usually, typically those blessings, and you can correct me. I mean, did you ever give one of those blessings?
No.
Because I'm curious,
I
like if
don't-
you were a teenage
I don't
boy and there
remember.
wasn't another priesthood holder around, if your dad would call you and, son, come into the birthing room really quick and help me give this
that
blessing.
never happened. No. But I had an older brother that was mostly over there for the blessing. So
Well, right, but I just wondered if he
But
wasn't there
no.
if you did it.
Nope.
So yeah, yeah, it might want to just. Geez, that lightning is so good. I don't know if you can see ever so often the room lights up because it is the lightning. But so blessings, typically the blessings, if the woman goes into distress or let's say just children are sick in general. Oh, that's good thunder too.
Mhm.
If the woman's just in distress or she's sick or the children are sick, they do give what's called priesthood blessings, where they come and typically they just put their hands on your head and bless you and ask the Lord to, make the birth process go easier, smoother, whatever. It's just basically like just a general prayer. But they do that with what they believe is the power and authority of the priesthood, that only men can hold. So women do bless other women, but not with the power of the priesthood. They do it as more like, mother's blessings, where they bless your body, that your body will function properly, that they bless your woman parts, that they don't touch you, but they bless your woman parts to so that everything would go smoothly. So that's typically that type of blessing. Hopefully that made sense. Did I make sense, or did it just sound more confusing?
Usually it was if the priesthood holder wasn't there, then she could, because she was married to the priesthood holder, kind of, and yeah, then they could use that power in his absence, if you will.
Right.
Is what I was kind of taught, or thought. So
yeah. Yeah. So they that's why they usually will have, which was a genius thought on Cory's end, because I would have thought about that, but I didn't think about that. I mean, it made sense when you said it. I was like, oh yeah, of course, that's why they always try to have one or two or more priesthood holders that are close by, so that in event that the woman is in distress, the two men can come and bless her and give and say a prayer. It's not like last rites or anything like that. It's just a prayer asking God to help the woman that her body would function properly and that the baby would be delivered without further distress, that type of thing. And so that's I know somebody says bless your women parts. I didn't mean it like that. It came out like that. I did not mean it like that. No, they typically they'll put their hand on your head and give you a blessing that just says something to the effect of, we bless that your body will start to function normally, that the baby will get here without distress. So
yeah, blessing the woman parts was usually foreplay.
Oh my gosh.
So,
yeah.
That was done with the husband. So
so yeah, that's typically what it was. I need to do a whole video on this one, but in the AUB, when in the Mormon church in general, they used to do this, but I don't believe they do it anymore. Then when women would very first get pregnant, you would go in to one of the matriarchs and get what's called a mother's blessing. And they would bless you that your body would be whole and you would be able to carry the baby through your pregnancy. They blessed you that you would be able to, that your body would function normally and the baby would grow normally. And they bless they just ask that your whole body function normally.
Yeah.
And so and so I actually had one of those with my first two kids. I went in and had my grandmother is the one who gave me that blessing. My grandmother and my mom were in the room when I got both of those blessings. There's nothing. It's actually a very beautiful experience. I was grateful that my grandma was willing to do it. At the time, I was 17 in my first pregnancy and 19 in my second pregnancy. So,
somebody did ask in here, was it typical for the working parents to put the money into like one family fund?
No, I don't think so. Not in my family. It wasn't. Not in.
So I could be wrong. My mother's probably could correct me, but yeah, that's what happened in our family. Everything, all the working mothers and dad, everything went into a family
Oh
fund.
yeah, because you guys were more of a
Yeah,
united
we're a
order than my
united
family
order.
was.
And then one of the mothers had done accounting, and so she would make sure all the bills were paid, and whatever was left over, they would, because it was a united order, then whatever the family didn't need or use, then it would be paid into the AUB as tithing and surplus. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then we as little kids, when we got out and started working and making money, we would pay tithing and surplus to the AUB. That's
Which
20%.
blows my mind that he had to do that.
Yeah, that was 20%. And then I would, then 50% of what was left went into the family fund.
Yeah. It's crazy.
To help take care of the family. And then we got to keep whatever was left. So, yeah, it was a good learning lesson growing up. So, but
yeah. Somebody says, do you think that people who worked with your dad did not realize he was a polygamist? No, most people didn't know. You wouldn't, because now the FLDS was this way too until Warren Jeffs took over, but most people didn't know my parents were polygamists. You wouldn't know that if you didn't know that. And then my mom had a health food store here in the Salt Lake Valley. She had two or three of them most of my life, and people didn't know that either, except for a lot of FLDS and a lot of independents, like the Darger families, that type of stuff. They would all come into the into the health food store. So for that, you would always see polygamists in there shopping, but you wouldn't know that my mom and her sister wives were, or that her co-owners were all polygamists. And so they just didn't really always dress that way. And yeah, it was a lot. We dressed like normal people. In fact, when I was doing my driver's ed, the driver's ed guy was like so determined that he knew exactly what polygamous kids looked like because we were all homeschooled. So he did the homeschooling driver's ed. And so he's like, oh, I know all those polygamous kids. And he's telling me all the stuff about it as I'm sitting there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I waited till the end of the semester school, class to tell him, yeah, my parents are polygamists. He's like, no, they're not. You're lying. You just listen to my stories all semester and want to be in on the in crowd. I'm like, okay, I don't think that's a club I really think this is an awesome club to be a part of, but there you go. My parents are polygamists. So,
thanks, Kathy. So
what'd Kathy say?
Turned out to be an okay guy.
I know.
But yeah, Cody's a good priesthood leader. I mean, he's building up his celestial kingdom, and everybody should be paying into his kingdom. So that's just the way we were raised. And so
yeah. I'm just going back to answer some of these other questions that I might have missed.
What kind of music was played at the AUB dance down
you
here?
guys got
I know
you guys got awesome music.
we got country music, but a lot of it was round dances, do-si-dos, things like that. But then we got country music too. So up in Pinesdale, but these guys were more the old classical stuff, the old I don't know, 1800 Virginia reels, things like that.
Yeah.
Or the
ballroom dancing. We did a lot of ballroom dancing. We did a lot of old classical country Western music, if we had anything like that.
Thanks,
I know. Thank you so much. We're still figuring out our stupid chat thing, so we cannot put this up on the screen. But thank you, Power Ranger. What?
Probably could from there, right? No.
Nope. Let's see. Yeah, no.
Okay.
So thank you so much for that super chat. She says, come on. You all are awesome. I think you all do agree that the reason Cody was mad at Christine for leaving is because he wouldn't have access to her income. Oh, absolutely. And she dared sell the house and take the equity out of the house. Good for her. Bravo. Yeah. Like, I'm so proud of her for doing that because, yeah.
Yeah. If you're not going to go on title with me, then because you need to be on title with Robin. Great.
Yeah, she got lucky. She really did get lucky.
Her and Janelle probably listened in on those real estate classes, so good for them. So,
but okay, but then again, Janelle's like, what the hell are you thinking, Janelle? You went to real estate school. You got your real estate license. How did you not know putting your name on something was so important?
Because she didn't want to buy anything. She wanted to build on Coyote Pass. So
Coyote Pass.
Never.
See, I think we're missing some pieces to that because we haven't watched them all. So I think we're missing pieces to that.
Well, we watched that part of it because she never did purchase anything.
Right.
She just rented, assuming that everybody was on the same goal of taking what they had in the family funds and starting the process of building. So she was waiting to build first on Coyote Pass is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's why she bought that RV.
Yep. So
that's right. I forgot about that.
So it wasn't that she wasn't, if she was thinking of the big goal of getting on Coyote Pass, which she assumed everybody was on board with. And so that's why she never took a large chunk of money to buy a home.
Yeah, so that makes more sense because I'm like, there's some good lightning right there, thunder right there too. Yeah, because I feel bad for Janelle for that reason. But I mean, we know that they sold Coyote Pass. So I did a post. Apparently on YouTube, you can start a community. So I'd started the community and just threw out the question, what is like the most random plot twist you guys want to see this year? And yeah, I would love, we found a YouTube channel last night that Cory and I went through so many of their videos and just laughed our butts off because they say all the things on video that we say off camera that we're always afraid to put on video. And we're driving to the store today and he's still laughing. He's like, oh my gosh, they called Cody a stage 5 clinger.
No, they called,
no, because Cody in the trailer was like, hey, Mary, you know, and Mary's like, we're never getting back together. So, so yeah, it was hilarious. It's called, oh gosh, now I got to look it up again because I forgot what it was called. I didn't forget it. It's just, we're live. And so it makes me feel a little bit, it's Little Miss Recap Podcast. So if you guys want to go check them out, they are hilarious. They are so snarky and so funny. And yeah, the F word does fly out of their channel, which is, be cautious of that if you're sensitive to that, but they're funny.
I like that question there. So if Janelle gets her release, fingers crossed, will Christine be dragged along to whatever Cody and Robin end up? They will have lost their kingdom without 2 wives. Yeah, they need 3 wives to get into, 3 sealed wives to get into the kingdom. And so, yeah. So if Janelle does get the release, but my estimation at that point that if Janelle was to ask for it, I don't know, they probably could reach out and go, hey, we realize that you're remarried. We're going to give you a release too to Christine. Cause not only would Christine be dragged along to whatever second-rate kingdom they had, but probably David too.
Oh my God.
As a servant. So
David would be Christine.
Yeah.
David and Christine would be Cody and Robin's servants.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd be beating him at a race car drive at that point. That's hilarious.
Yeah. If she gets a release, sayonara to the celestial kingdom, they're going to have to downgrade to the, what is it? Telestial or terrestrial.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they won't be in the highest level of the celestial kingdom. So in Mormonism, there's 3 different levels. In each level, there's 3 different levels. The only way to get to the highest level of the highest level is to have the 3 wives and
in harmony.
Yeah.
3 wives in harmony.
And you can be in harmony with your sister wives when they've all passed.
Yep.
So it's hard to be in harmony with all of them when they're alive. Hello. So Elizabeth Roberts says, I think the blessings from other women actually sound what?
Oh, poor David. But
Cory's in the same boat.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. She's
Except for I did get a release, so you're not in the same boat.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
I did get a release at the request of Cory. I did go in and have the prophet at the time, which was Owen Allred, give me a release. So I am no longer sealed to my ex-husband.
But I didn't want to be a servant in heaven in case that's really.
I thought you were going to make a super sexy pool boy, though.
Yeah, I would have. So.
But I want to read this one. Elizabeth Roberts says, I think the blessings from other women actually sound really beautiful.
Mhm.
I can tell you when the men folk gave me a blessing while in labor, it gave me immediate rage. So the blessings between other women, I think, is a really beautiful concept as well, because it is women empowering and supporting other women. The men, they just don't have as much power and authority as the men do. So if you're small, weak, women's blessings don't work, then let the real power and authority come in and do the real blessings. That's kind of how it goes. And so when I was pregnant with my first child, I got really, really sick. And my ex-husband had his dad come over in the middle of the night, like 3:00 in the morning, and they gave me a blessing. And that happened like 2 or 3 nights in a row because I was really, really sick. And I was about 6 months pregnant. So yeah, I think a lot of it is just the power of your own mind. What do you believe? Or do you believe this blessing is going to help you? If you don't believe this blessing is going to help you, I think a lot of it is that. What are you snarking at?
Nothing. I'm just reading along. So, no, in their belief system, Melanie and I are only married for time. At eternity, she'll be recycled into some other righteous man's family, and I'll be a Ken doll on
with no
some land.
You won't be anatomically correct.
I'll be a Ken doll on one of the lower degrees of
on
glory.
One of Robin's doll shelves.
Yeah. No. Okay, that's hell. But
yeah, that's hilarious. Kathy says, Cory, you turned out to be a stellar man and a father, but Cody is just a money grabbing grifter. Yeah, it's funny because I really did ask Cory, I'm like, how did your family, most of his siblings, like, how did they come out so, like, not patriarchy like these other, now not all of his siblings are this way, but a good chunk of the men have come out of there, and I truly attribute it to their sense of humor, because they can laugh at things, they can laugh at, and probably Monty Python will give him some credit too.
Give them some credit. Yep.
Because of that. And so they can laugh at, but sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so sacrilegious, you are going to hell.
Hey, AUB said I was going anyhow.
Yeah.
As my
our
daughter-in-law says, I'm going for the
She goes, it's okay, Mel. Cory can go to hell. He's just going for a high score.
Yeah.
If he's going to go there anyways, he might as well get a high score on his way.
That's right.
What is that movie Dogma where he looks like a Ken doll? Yeah. I think it's Dogma.
Dogma's amazing. That was a great movie too. So
somebody says normal, Mel, we're normal. Not for AUB normal. Absolutely not. Thank goodness. But for the patriarchy system, yes, a good chunk of the men out of Cory's family are very caring and very loving and wonderful partners.
Yes.
But yeah, everyone's breaking out in song.
Yes. Thank you, Lem.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to go here. Let's see. Didn't anyone ever question why your family had to give so much money to the church, or was that considered nefarious thinking?
Yeah, nefarious revelation if you questioned. Yeah. No, it's because you were Pine Cell was set up as a united order, and everybody supposedly was. I don't know if you said that right, but everybody was supposed to put all of their funds into the united order to build up the kingdom of God. Yeah. And so you would take care of your family needs, and then the rest would go to beautify the united order. So
yeah.
So
yeah, my sister Emily Lee is on the chat. She says, thanks for the heads up that you were live. I did text Mom. I'm sorry. I thought I texted you too, but maybe I didn't. We were out doing errands trying to get back before the live started. Let's Let's see.
Yeah. Buddy Jesus is my favorite on Dogma. So that's what the AUB needs to do. Get more of a buddy prophet. Instead of the angry old soul we saw, we need to have the old buddy.
I think that would be
prophet.
hilarious if they did a bobblehead of my dad.
Yeah, as a buddy prophet.
No.
Hello, my darling.
My precious.
My precious. Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody says, I'm surprised you were allowed to have music. I thought it would be footloose and no dancing allowed. No, we had a good, I mean, I enjoyed it. We did a lot of square dancing too. You guys did a lot of square dancing in Montana, didn't you?
Yeah. We had what was considered classical music, dance music, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You just couldn't have modern rock and roll.
But you guys did have some modern country songs that I was like,
some country.
Why don't we get this music in Salt Lake?
Yeah, country songs that they would allow to play up there too, because everybody was up in Montana and did country line dancing and stuff like that. So they would rather have you up dancing within the community to the country music instead of going down to the valley and dancing with the heathens. So I guess
what was sad for me is we didn't know each other when we were in the AUB. We met when I was on my way out, and he was just kicked out. And I was really sad because I would have loved, that is one of the things I do miss. I do miss going to the dances. I do miss some of that community, and the dances were some of the most fun experiences of my life. They were something that me and all my friends, we would make our own dresses because we were way too poor to buy a new dress. So we would all get together and make our own dresses. And then we would go to the dances. And it was like, there were certain dances you had to be 14 because then you were marriageable age. But some of the other dances, you only had to be 12. And so it was like a big thing to hit 14 because now you were like a big kid and you could go to the more, high ballroom dances, I guess you would say. And so I wish so bad because I would have loved to dance with Cory because I think you're a good dancer. We did go to a couple of AUB dances that some of his siblings were performing, because at every dance they would have like a, what's it called? Like a show.
Yeah. Performance
or like a show halfway through the dance. They'd pause and they'd do like some, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name. There's a specific name for it. I can't think of it.
Talent show. They'd show off the talents of some of the people within the community.
So we did go to one or two. I think we went to one for sure. I'm trying to think if we went to this. I think we went to the second one and you were like, absolutely not. Let's get out of here. And so, but we did dance at that one together once.
Yeah. Because we were there to see some of my nieces perform.
Yeah, they were singing.
And so that was awesome. But the whole dance situation and setup, they're usually big ballroom dances or do-si-dos, or I can't even remember all of them, where you change partners around, and it's a way for creepy men to get to know the young girls on there, and hey, it's kind of cool. And I didn't want to be that creeper, so programs. There you go, Katie.
Yeah. Oh, program. That's what it's. I know. I'm like, it starts with a P, I swear. Oh, did she say program? Thank you, Katie. Yeah. So we did go to that one time, and Cory was just like, get me out of here. I could barely get him to dance with me for one song, but he's actually very slick and smooth on his feet. So I was like, I bet all the girls love dancing with you. Well, Cory's very protective. So when you're dancing with him, I mean, he's got huge hands, he's got like really strong arms. And so it's kind of fun to just be like wrapped up in that while you're dancing on the dance floor. Oh,
which one of my brothers is on here? Or sister? Which one?
So yeah, those were some fun times. Those were really good part of the AUB. They were really, they were some of my better, more fun memories. Somebody says, Linda says, oh wow, your mom, what?
Is it my little brother?
Yeah, it is.
Good job, Katie.
Yeah. So Linda says, oh wow, your mom owned a couple of health food stores and you guys still struggled with poverty. Here's the thing about my mom. that
Thanks,
I can say.
Lamb.
My mom is one of the most over generous people I've ever known in my entire life. And she was very giving, and she started the health food store when I was 14. So I was already a lot older by then. So when I was younger, she didn't have the health food store, but her uncle owned a health food store. And so she started it when I was 14, but she helped a lot of people, and a lot of polygamous people are extremely poverty stricken. And so they couldn't pay her. And so she gave to a lot of people, gave to a lot of the women who needed help with fertility issues. She gave to a lot of people. So I wouldn't say there was a huge profit. My mom didn't start the health food store to make a profit. She started the health food store because she was sick at the time and had cancer. And so she started it for her own medical needs. And then it just kind of rolled into helping everyone else. So that is one of the things about my mom. She's very, 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 very generous to a fault generous, I think. So yeah, what are you smarking at now? You got siblings on here going back and forth.
I got my little brother on here.
Oh, someone says we need a family photo of you two with all your siblings. We do have a couple of them. And we have been working up to post them. I did post one of Cory's family once. And Cory was so stressed out about it because we didn't blur out some of the faces. So,
and we didn't warn him either. So,
yeah,
I don't know if all my siblings want to be associated with me.
Yeah.
So we'll ask.
Yeah. So we do have a few of them. I do have one. We used to do family campouts every Labor Day weekend. So it would be this upcoming weekend. And so I do have a couple of huge family photos. There was usually at our family campouts anywhere from 200 people, something like that, with my dad and all of his wives and all of our kids.
Lisa Carter says, do you think I want to read Christine's book. I do.
I hadn't really thought about it, but so many people have been asking us that now I feel like we should.
Well, I would love to read it to see what her point of view on it was. So she was in it for a long time. So I want to see what she's willing to admit or to tell outside of now being out of it. So yeah, that'd be awesome. So absolutely I would.
Yeah, I think we'll order it. Apparently people are getting it in early in like Barnes and Noble put a bunch of them out apparently.
Curtis, would you be in a family photo with me?
His little brother. Yeah.
Will polygamists who get their own planet get to pick which one? No, they are going to be gods and creators. And so they will have to,
a planet.
Yeah, they'll be playing roadblocks and building their own planet out of the matter. Okay. So,
but you have heard about all the like newest stuff. Like, do not let your kids play on Roblox. There's a lot of sexual.
Well, it's the same
perverts on there. That's why I thought maybe you said it.
Oh no, it's the same in religion. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, they'll be building their own planet out of matter, creating everything they want. Let's put the swimming pool over there. Let's put the big mansion for Robin over here. Let's put the barn dominium over there. They'll create it. They'll
child molesters over here.
Yeah. Well, those are all. Yeah, they don't make it. They're down in hell. So.
Well, I don't know, because some of them think that they're without having to go through due process. The Lord has forgiven them and they know it. So they could easily be in heaven. We don't know. So, Lamb, thank you so much for that super chat. We really appreciate it. What? Why are we high-fiving?
Well, I just understood
the last prophet was accused by some of his children of abusing them. And he prayed to the Lord, and the Lord forgave him. So everyone else just needed to drop it and forget about it and move on.
So in that case, the
whole
child molesters wouldn't be put over there. They'd be building the kingdom.
They would be building the kingdom. Yeah, they're not the workers in the field. If God has forgiven them immediately. Okay, there's a lot more snark right there.
Stores already.
Oh,
okay, good.
Oh, good. We have our old friend on here we haven't seen in a hot minute. Hi, Jay Patel. Good to see you again. Let's see. Share Bear, thank you so much for that, Share Bear. And we will figure out how to get this chat up here so that we can put it up on the screen. So, but she says, hope you and your mom are doing well. It's been a long time since I caught a live. Surgery recovery sucks. Love you guys. Thank you. We haven't done very many lives because surgery recovery sucks. It's been rough. That's what I was telling Cory last night. We went to a wedding last night. It was about an hour and a half, a little over an hour away. And so we talked a lot in the car, and I told him, I have been the most vulnerable I have ever been in my life. I feel like in the last 4 weeks, recovering from this surgery. So I understand. Please get better. We hope that we hope you're doing better.
Kim C says, how does the religious belief justify becoming a god when the Bible says otherwise? How is it in conflict? How is this conflict reconciled? One of the teachings of Mormonism is they believe that the Bible is true as long as it's translated correctly. And so, and then they bring in new belief systems, or the Adam God doctrine, which kind of, if you will, explains how to become a god. And not everyone will become a god. You have to follow special rules. Most other people will just be satisfied in a heaven. So it's their whole belief system that they've rewritten. And to be honest with you, most of them, they'll read the Bible and take passages out of it that help their belief system, and all the rest is kind of just a part of a book. Maybe it wasn't translated correctly. So,
well, didn't Joseph Smith also take sections of the Bible and retranslate them, or I don't know.
This is what most of the Book of Mormon is. A rewriting of the Bible.
I have to, when I'm not very doctrinal or scriptural versed. I have read the Book of Mormon from cover to cover almost twice. I have read the Bible, not cover to cover, but this is why I always go to Cory. I don't even know what this means. What does this mean? And he'll have to tell me. But somebody says, will you read Christine's book? Can we have a book club with it? Haha. That would be kind of fun. Maybe we will do that. Because I was there when she started dating Cody. I was there. I've heard her talk about this, that I was standing in the kitchen next to her when Cody showed up at a volleyball game for the very first time. And I'm watching her hysterical in the kitchen. And it's hilarious to watch her because she's head over heels in little gaga land over him. And that was a really fun day because Christine's older brother is married to my ex-sister-in-law. So we spent a lot of time there. We were always over at the house. And Christine was always there too. And this just happened to be the day that she talks about it. I think they talk about it in their book, Becoming Sister Wives, but I don't know. I haven't read that book. But maybe we'll do that. Should we buy a copy of it and do it?
Yeah.
It comes out on Tuesday, I guess. So yeah, we'll see. I think that would be fun. I'm trying to get back to some of these other questions.
Curtis says only those with CK can become gods. Laugh out loud. Brother, you are a lot like your father with your nefarious revelations.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, it's available early at Barnes & Noble. Maybe we'll swing by Barnes & Noble tomorrow on our way to Montana and pick one up. Wendy says, depends on which version of the regular Bible you get. And that's true. That's why in Mormonism, they say they believe in, it says the Book of Mormon is a second witness to testament and witness to Jesus Christ. And they believe in the Bible as long as it is translated correctly. Let's see.
Yeah, most people within the AUB, some of them, you read the Bible once or twice, but most of it's the Book of Mormon, and even more than that, then you're supposed to be reading journals of discourse and a lot of the deeper teachings.
Yeah. Although
of
we did just watch Escaping Polygamy. We went and watched the version, the one about the AUB and the militia. And we went and we watched that again the other night. I don't even know why we did it. Why was it? Just because
I just wanted to see what they had to say. Rewatch it.
Oh, it's because we signed up for Discovery Plus, HBO, and they took off seasons 2 through 4 of Sister Wives. Well, we just started season 4, and we're like, son of a gun. So we signed up for Discovery Plus so we could watch season 4, and it popped right up on the front of Discovery Plus. So that's why we watched it. And that one was so frustrating because Escaping Polygamy, they talk about the AUB and their militia. Scott Mangles is who they talk about in there. And it's so funny because he installed our cabinets in our laundry room. He installed the cabinets in our whole house. But he came here one day and we were sitting there chit-chatting about it. And I didn't put the connection that was the same guy for a long time until I saw his picture. And then I was like, that's the guy who installed our I mean, I knew he was from where he was from, but I didn't put the connection that it was the same guy that they're talking about on Escaping Polygamy. And so, yeah, that episode is such a joke. I think that episode is why that show got canceled, is what I've been told from so many different people, because it's so far off from the truth of what. Are there fanatical people? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are there crazy people in the AUB? Hundreds. But is it, do they, I don't know. We struggled with that episode. We had this guy had a ton of snark coming out over that one.
I just, I don't know. I find it interesting because they did do a lot of the history of the church. And it's interesting that he grew up in the church. And this is the guy who's hosting the show. And he grew up in the church, but he didn't realize a lot of the history of the church that went on. He grew up in a nice, clean, polished version of the church, and then they go out and so I give credit to the LDS Church for communities like the AUB. They go out into the world and teach people about this nice, polished, cleaned up version of Mormonism. People come into Mormonism and then they start to study the deeper stuff, the previous prophets, all the stuff went on. They want to know more about the history of the church. And then eventually they see that. And so a lot of these, and he was a missionary, went out and
proselyted for the LDS church.
And so then he
doesn't even understand half of what he's probably taught people.
Well, and the interesting part too is the AUB, their prophet got murdered by a competing polygamist cult.
Gang.
Yeah, gang.
Let's just call them a gang.
And they were feuding, and so the new AUB goes, hey, you know what? We probably should have some protection around. I mean, right after in 1977, when they killed that prophet, there was quite a bit of police force. And so, and then the host was like, yeah, I was part of the police force and the FBI, and he's a part of the LDS church. And so I find it hypocritical that he's pointing that out when everybody knows that even the Mormon church has people around to protect the council, their council and their prophet and stuff like that. So I just, it was funny to watch back again and knowing some of the people that were talking. Just, it was interesting. It told you how long I've been away from the AUB. So I've been away 35 years. Everything has changed drastically. So I'm learning more about the AUB. So
no, it was hard to watch because some of the people, like, we don't want to talk negatively about individual people who are in the AUB, but come on, the priesthood protection team could have they could step up their game on their membership and invite maybe more
No, they don't. They'll
Well-rounded,
never.
qualified people. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
And one of them said, yeah, it was the Apostolic Security Team. So.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
haven't heard that. The Priesthood Protection Team is what I always PPT.
Oh, no, I call it the Apostolic Security Team. ASS.
Oh.
There you go.
I'm like, wait, there's something coming. So you call it the ASS team,
Yeah.
not the PTT team?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that super chat. Oh, you did it twice. Thank you so much for that.
Okay.
Lamb 59 says you have the rest of your lives to dance together plus eternity before Mel gets recycled.
Yes, that's true. So
sorry, babe. I'm just
that's
gonna
all right.
jump right through that recycling machine. So
Let's see.
now I'm gonna try to catch up here. Let's see. I live in Connecticut. How come we never see the Mormons going door to door like the Jehovah's Witnesses? I would love to speak with one of them. That's interesting because you should.
Yeah,
they
they're
do. They
here all
send
the time.
tons of. I mean, there's literally thousands of missionaries out across the world right now.
Yeah, they came to my door probably 2 weeks
they come
ago.
here all the time.
And I turned them onto my podcast. Said, "Hey, watch a few." I know you guys can't watch them while you're on your mission, but yeah, watch the podcast and see why.
Yeah,
why you shouldn't try to convert me. So
yeah, they really will come. They are all over the world right now, so that surprises me that you haven't had anybody come to your door because they really do. Somebody says Emily needs to come on a live with us again. So we've actually been talking about this for the last few days. Em's like, I need to come and do a live with you guys again. We're just timing wise, I think we're trying to do it next week sometime. And see if we can make that happen. Oh, somebody says Cloudy with a Chance of Code says, I've been waiting for you to get to the episode with the Dargers. It's so interesting how chaotic the Browns look in comparison. Yeah, the Browns are chaotic in general. I think they are very loud. I'm not saying this in a negative way. This is they are a very loud, very boisterous family that loves to have a good time, and they're not afraid. They where the Dargers are a little bit more reserved and conservative in their behavior. A lot of our kids were really good friends. The Dargers don't live too far away from us. They live less than 5 minutes. And so we have been.
The Dargers aren't a part of the AUB though.
They're not
independent.
But the twins were.
Yeah.
They grew up I grew up with the twins, Vicky and Valerie. And then I didn't know, oh my gosh, her name just went right out of my brain. I knew her for years. But then we know the Dargers pretty well. We have not been associated. I would say now we're more, acquaintances than friends because we just have not seen them. I haven't seen them in probably like 5 years. But they do live, especially since our kids have graduated now. And so we don't see them as often anymore. But yeah, they just live up the street from us. And I'm curious to watch that one too. And so the Browns go to their house. And I remember seeing little snippets of that conversation. Alina, that's her name. So Alina and Vicky, and then Vicky and Valerie are twins. And so, yeah, I know a lot of people struggle with Joe Darger. I've always appreciated him. He's always been really good and really kind to me. Doesn't mean I would ever want to be a woman under his thumb, for sure. But I think I've always had a very positive experience with him. And so I'm curious to see that episode too, because I've seen the little clips of it, but we haven't seen the whole episode.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and there's a difference. I see families that have left the AUB and still stay together. They've made agreements, or they're a family. They want to stick together. That's what blows me away. One of the biggest things in Mormonism and the AUB are families are forever. Uphold the family until, yeah. And so to have a husband leave and the wives go with him, that's a good bond that they have there.
Yeah.
And so that's something different. Cody was still a part of it and left, and his family fell apart because of it. So I don't know. They seem to be doing something right. So
Yeah.
oh, my other brother.
Yeah, you got a lot of family on here
Oh,
today. We got a lot of family on
sweet.
here. No, and yeah, I
Okay,
saw
Kendall
that
will
too.
be in a picture with me too.
Yeah, somebody
Sweet.
says Joe seems to run a tight ship. I think that they do, and then someone says, why do people struggle with Joe Darger? I've had a lot of feedback that he's very patriarchal. He's very, this is how things are run. But I also appreciate that because you get chaos if you don't. When you have so many wives and so many kids, you'll get straight up chaos. And when you don't have more of a tighter thumb on your family, you get a Robin that comes in and destroys your entire family. You get someone who comes, like in my dad's situation, you get a legal wife that comes in and destroys the family and isolates a lot of the children from the father. And so he has to be a little bit more keeping things in control, if you would. But I think overall Joe's a very kind man, and I have really appreciated him. And honestly, he helped me when I was getting divorced, and he made sure that I had work and that and I didn't have a high school diploma. I didn't know what I was going to do. I hadn't worked since my oldest was born, and here he was almost 10, and so I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no skills. I mean, I had him when I was 17. I didn't have time to go into the workforce and have any sort of skills. So I appreciated that Joe basically, and he didn't do it in a way that I could become a wife in any way. He was more like a brother to me, and was very kind, and and his whole family was. So I've really appreciated his family for that. So
Trillian asks a question. I have, if you get your own celestial kingdom planet, if you have at least 3 wives, what happens to those who only have 2 or gasp only 1? You want the snarky answer?
yeah,
Snarky answer. They'll probably get a moon going around some other person.
you get to orbit someone else's planet.
Planet, moon, comet,
People
whatever
will worship
it
you and
is.
make moon water for you.
But most likely you're probably going to be on a lower kingdom of heaven where you're more of a servant or a garden maintenance of the planet of the big cheese. So I don't know. Yeah, moon, comet, whatever it is, outer planet, outer darkness planet, something like that. So you don't get to choose, and you definitely don't get to create your own. So
you will have no creation powers whatsoever.
No.
But if you want the real answer, so the real answer is
we're making it up just like they are. So,
true, very
so
true.
that's the real
but
answer.
In the millennium, when Christ comes back to the earth, there will be 1,000 years of peace, and then you will have time to correct the error of your ways. And
take me a lot longer than that.
And you can find women who refuse to marry worthy men. You can find women who need to fix the error of their ways, and then you can make your family whole and complete. So by the end of that time, then you can go into the celestial kingdom. That is at least what I was taught. That was my understanding. But I like your moon thing way better than that.
So I can be as bad as I want then up until
Yeah,
that
you have all
1,000
this other
years
time.
to
Right.
relearn. Okay.
Right. You just
So I've been doing it right. Sweet.
Your high score is very high right now. Oh,
that's right. You guys can all come party on my planet.
Yeah. Somebody says the Browns are so blessed. Canadian says the Browns are chaos as their priesthood holder is the Tasmanian devil. It's so true. They are a very loud, very fun family. And yeah, and again, I don't mean that in any sort of negative way. They are just in the AUB. One of the things that I've really struggled with going back into the AUB or going back into any events where there is AUB is the way that the women hold themselves is very humble. It's very reverent. They almost like they don't look up to have a conversation with you. They look down, they're hunched over, they walk, they're always like sucking in their stomachs. They're like, it's just very sad to see that. Their energy is very, very small. And so ever so often you'll find one or two that has bigger energy and she's willing to, look up. But it hurts my heart to see some of the way that these women carry themselves, because it's very reverent. It's very humble. And the Brown kids, this is one thing that I love that the Brown family did. They did not raise their girls to be this way. Their girls are out there. Their energy is big. They own who they are and they walk with it. And so that is awesome to see that, because you don't see that. I was that very humble, very confined, energetically wise girl for a long time. It wasn't until really, and I was angry. I was really angry because I am very analytical, very left-brained. And so I would think about all these things and I just get angry. And then I start dating Cory, and all of my family's like, thank you so much for taking that stick out of Melanie's ass, because she's such a nice person now. And I'm so totally different now than I was back then. I would have hated me back then. And so, yeah, it's hard to go around. So that is one thing that the Browns did amazingly well, is taught their girls to hold themselves with a good amount of energy.
And to enjoy life. So,
yeah. Okay, let's see. Let me try
DJ
to catch
Tag,
it.
thank you.
Thank you, DJ Tag. We appreciate that. And again, we will get our chat box figured out, our issue. Okay, thank you so much. I hope I don't slaughter your name, and I'm so sorry. Yesenia Shavaria. It says, have you heard of or experienced either in the AUB or out creating self-discipline? Have you heard of or experienced either in the AUB or out creating self-discipline? I grew up very conservative, and when I slipped up, I was much harder on myself and disciplined myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Feel
me.
the right amount of shame for what you had done. So.
Yeah. Shame is huge in the AUB. If you don't shame yourself, it's almost like it's better to shame yourself before everyone else around you can shame you, because you're going to be a million. And I don't think this is just AUB in general. I think this is people in general too. It's like, if I discipline myself or shame myself more, it's like, I know I screwed up. Let me show you. I'm flogging myself now. Then what other people say won't be as bad, because no one will ever be as hard on you as you are on yourself. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I disciplined myself a lot when, especially when this is why I wanted to choose out of life at one point when I was 20, because I wasn't being a cooperative wife and letting my ex-husband get a second wife. And so I was always broken. I needed to get fixed. I needed to get healed. I needed to get whatever it was I needed. And so I beat myself up all the time, to the point where I was just like, I'm broken at this humanness. I need to choose out. I need to walk away from life right now, because I clearly can't handle even just being a decent person and letting my husband get a second wife. So yes, very much so.
Thanks, Kim C. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
You have a great evening.
And this will upload into our live section, so you guys can always go back and watch it too, if you want to. My sister says, yes, let's do a book club. I guess we are doing a book club. I'll have to look into what that entails. Like, how does that mechanically work? But I will figure that out. Let's see. Imagine being one of those people that got baptized after passing, and you get rerouted to the celestial or the telestial kingdom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That would be awesome.
It's very true. So,
going up the devil, get out of hell free card. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, Ellen, it sounds like Ellen's from the AUB or knows Elise, and she says, I couldn't bring myself to go into that building today. It's hard for me to go. I'll go down like to AUB properties and stuff like that, but it's hard for me to go to the main church here. The main church for the AUB is about 15 minutes from our house, and it is really hard for me to go in there. But I think the last time I was in there was for my grandmother's or for my other mother's funeral. So I had one of my other mothers pass. I think it's been 2 years now. And I think that was the last time I was in there. I don't feel comfortable going in there, especially because I did grow up going to church there every Sunday. And I literally watched armed men come in there and protect the prophet, protect the church building, protect whatever.
The ASS team.
The ASS team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are literally going to start calling it the ASS team.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me again what that stands for. Apostolic Secret Service.
Secret Service, yeah.
Oh gosh, here we go. That's hilarious. I think we're going to totally do that. Go for it. Do you see anything else? I'm trying to get
Would
answers.
we ever do a review on Brady Williams' TV series called My Five Wives?
Brady told me personally that we could do it. He was like, he goes, go for it. You say whatever you want about me. I don't even care. And I said, well, maybe when we get better at this, then we will have you come on our show.
Yeah. The thing that I'm impressed with Brady with is he left the AUB, and not only did he take his wives and his family with him, but I am sure that the wives were probably counseled to leave him and come get recycled back into the AUB, and they chose to stay with him. So kudos to that whole family,
right,
for leaving from under the control of the AUB and still moving forward with what they were taught and trying to raise their kids. And
yeah,
his kids and the mothers, the wives, they all know each other. So yeah, kudos to him for hanging in there, taking his wives with him and out from underneath the control of the AUB. So,
well, and I don't know one single family, and maybe you do, and maybe my mom does know one single family that has, like, the man has left and every single wife has gone with him. I think Brady's the only one that I have ever heard of, and they're still together.
Yeah.
That's what's incredible.
So
they're still together to this day.
Good for you guys. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So,
I knew Brady growing up, and I thought he was extremely I would put him and Cody in the same category. I thought he was extremely self-centered. I didn't have a high opinion of him. And then I've watched his show, and we watched every episode of that show because two of his wives were my very best friends growing up. And my opinion of him completely changed. Completely.
Yeah,
so yeah.
I thought he was a good guy. So.
Oh my gosh. He's amazing. And I really do appreciate watching him run his family.
Hey, brother, you better be getting better. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a brother on here who's had a little bit of a health scare. The AUB taught an unhealthy version of saying that we should fear God. I always felt that God was watching, waiting to punish me instantaneously for any indecent thoughts, or probably what he's going to finish saying there is thoughts. So yeah, it was a very unhealthy version of fearing God. I think that's like the number one thing we talk about is we were raised under a umbrella of fear about everything. What channel did you watch Special Forces on? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Yeah, sorry. I wish we could help you with that question. Someone just asked where they can watch Special Forces.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't know.
I got the fancy TV I can talk into, and I think it took me to like a third party thing, and I think the only one that I could watch was season 3. So I started watching season 3 to see what.
Oh, I wondered why you started watching season 3. That was the only one available for free.
For free, yeah. So.
Yeah, Deanna says Christina used to shame herself a lot on the show, especially when it came to her relationship with Robin. Yeah, we talk about that. We just did a recap of season 3, episode 12, and we talk about that on that recap because it's hard to watch her. Like, she just literally beats herself up. And I mean, I'm sure she has help. So.
Yeah, she's probably just repeating a good conversation she had with her priesthood holder, telling her how she should be a better wife, and probably get on the next episode and explain why she needed to be a better sister wife. So,
unfortunately, that is what happens. You get corrected, or you get re-educated, or you get whatever they want to call it. And then she goes out. She's like, no, I can see that I wasn't being as welcoming as I could have been to Robin. And she's just, and this is the part that blew my mind. She's earned a spot as a mother. I'm like, how, what has she done? Unless we didn't see it on TV.
Sex with her husband. So,
oh my gosh. So, somebody says I suffer Catholic guilt big time. It stifled my life for sure. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I don't feel like this is AUB specific. I feel like this is human. Religion. Yeah. Somebody says, Catherine says, thank God you had the good instincts not to let him get a second wife. Yeah, I'm not really sure where all that came from, where I had even the ability. I yelled at the prophet because the prophet wanted her to marry my ex-husband, and he was heartbroken when I said no. And so he was chastising me in public at church on the stage in front of the congregation, and I just blew up at him. And I was very compliant until then. And then I got chastised on the way home hard. That was the night that I decided that I was going to choose out of life. And it's actually the anniversary of that's coming up here, August 29th. So I would have been 20. So it's been 31 years. The very first time I decided I was going to choose out of life. And she was the girl he wanted us to marry was, seeing a couple of other people too. And Warrant, when my ex-husband started seeing her, she was 16, I was 18, and he was 27. So that was a big age gap, and it felt predatory to me. And so I think maybe if he would have looked into somebody a little bit older, maybe I might not have found that strength, but where she was still felt like a baby. She did turn 17 in that whole process. And yeah, he pulled us aside and said, what is going on? Why have you guys pulled back? Why are you not dating her anymore? And I was like, what do you want us to do? She's dating like 4 other people at the same time.
And given the whole, she is a flower and she shouldn't be flying from B to B to B.
I should have. That would have been funny.
That's our King and I version of dating in the AUB.
And then he yelled at me and he was like, and he started crying and he said, I know, sweetheart, this is going to be really hard on you. But you are the couple that I picked for her and I want you guys to move forward. And I just yelled at him. I'm like, Brother Owen, this isn't going to happen. I'm pregnant again. I was pregnant with my second child, and just said absolutely not, that it wasn't going to happen. And yeah, I don't know where that came from, but he was going to guilt trip. So between the two men, they were going to, put me in my place.
But he's been obedient to you. You told him he couldn't have a second wife, and he's never had another wife after you.
Well, he does what he's told, apparently.
Very obedient. So,
oh my gosh. So, Melanie, you're breathing very quickly and shallow. Are you okay? Probably. So
the lightning has passed. So
I had a little bit. I get migraines. I suffer migraines, and I drank a Coke before we got on here, and so I might have a little bit more energy than I normally would. So
yep, I agree with you, brother. Family is I love our family. So
somebody says, please tell us about Cory's parents being excommunicated. We actually are going to make a video on that.
Yeah. I'll just tell. Yeah. My dad was my dad was disobedient and was dating, and I don't know, got caught dating, and Robin's dad turned him in. So the AUB was like, oh my goodness, you didn't get permission and you did it the wrong way. There's many other things. He did it the wrong way. And so
he might have had a leaning up against a car in the sunset moment inappropriately.
He had this painting and so basically he got excommunicated, and some of the wives said, no, we'll stick with him. And they're like, no, you won't. You'll be excommunicated too. And so the wives that stuck with him had the crimes that he committed placed upon their everlasting soul also. And so if they stuck with him, they were excommunicated or given letters saying that they needed to be recycled back into the AUB. And if they stuck with him, they were taking on his sins So
Cory's
it was
mom
awesome.
comes down here from Montana to stay with us, which she's done quite often. She'll come and stay with us for a month or two at a time. And Cory says to her, "Hey, young lady, I heard you got you got excommunicated from the AUB for nefarious revelation." And she's
Yeah.
like, "No, I did not. I've never been excommunicated." She gets all upset. And he goes, "I have a paper right here that says that you did." And he shows her the paper that says that his dad was excommunicated and that any wife who chose to stay married to him would be excommunicated as well.
Yeah, took on his crimes. So.
Right. And she was like, "Well, they can just kiss my..." I was laughing so hard. She was so upset about it. Someone says, "How old were you two approximately when you realized the AUB was knucking futs?" I left for the first time when I was 22. And then I went back at 24 and stayed until I was almost 26. It was just a couple months away from my 26th birthday, and then never went back after that. And Cory,
when we realized, so yeah, how old was I when I realized?
Yeah.
I started questioning probably around 14, 15. So I had watched a show called The God Makers, wanting to see how I could become a god. Yeah, that's what we were being taught. So I watched a show called The God Makers, and I'm like, oh, these guys are crazy. They're making up all of this stuff. So I took it to my dad and said, "Hey, they said that you guys, this is what happens." And he's like, "Huh, yeah." And I'm like,
that might be correct.
That's cult-like. That's, what are you guys talking about? And so, yeah, I watched The God Makers and then had so many questions. So, yeah, I knew it was, at that point, I was asking way too many questions and a heathen. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't officially get asked to leave until later on in life.
How old were you? 24?
23, 24, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So,
and we met.
It's like I was leaving. I'm going down to Utah to work and do all that stuff. And they're like, "No, you're being asked to leave." And I'm like, "All right, I'm being asked to leave. See ya."
Yeah, we met when I was 24 and Cory was 25. Or sorry, I was 22 and Cory was 25. That's when we met. So I was out of the AUB at that time, but I did end up going back. And then when I left for good, I left my ex-husband and then called Cory, "Hey, you want to go out?" And he was like,
yeah. So I think I was probably 23 when I moved out of, I was living and working up in the valley, but still, and then I was like, I'm done with Pinesdale. I'm done with all of this stuff. I'm going to come down here. So I think I was about 23, and then because we were down here working for about a year and a half before we came down there.
Yeah. Someone says Robin's dad ratting out your dad explains a lot about Robin. Isn't that funny?
Well,
so Robin's bio dad, not her stepdad, but Robin's bio dad decided to record some of this
conversation,
inappropriate dating conversations, and then took that to the leadership of the AUB, who then
it was literally
kicked him out.
That beautiful painting they have. It was a telephone call of that beautiful painting. So
it was a very inappropriate phone call, and Robin's dad recorded it and put it all over. Printed it out. They're like, "Here, do you want to read a copy, or you want to read a phone call with your dad and someone else?" So fun stuff. Boots says, "I drove by the church or the endowment house a couple of years ago, and before I could get to the parking lot, a group of men came walking out. I turned the car around and left real fast." I've heard that too. I've heard a lot of, we drove out there once. I can't remember. We were dropping because we would never drop our daughter off, but we were, my dad's birthday party. Yeah. And they do have people there. Someone is there all the time, 24/7. So, we try to catch up. Do you have anything? My mom says she believes Brady is rare. I agree. I think Brady's very rare. I've been so impressed with Brady. One of Brady's other mothers was my very best friend growing up, and we still keep in contact. I absolutely love her.
Is Robin's bio dad still in Pinesdale? I don't think so.
No.
I think he's
I don't think it
down
has
here
anything to do with
somewhere.
the AUB at all.
Yeah, I don't think. I have no clue. So 35. I don't even know if he's still alive.
No, I think he is.
Is
I think
he?
he's still alive. He's just not a part of anything. I
That was
looked him up
35
on
years
social
ago.
media not too long ago.
And he was old
yeah.
back then. So.
Yeah. So no, he's let's see. Somebody says it's probably good the Williams family didn't continue their series. I think the TV show tore the Brown family apart. I would agree. I think the combination between a lot of selfishness and a lot of greed, and then having a TV show did that family in.
Was Robin's dad still married to Alice when he threw your dad under the bus? No, he was not. Alice had left him. He had got a second wife. Shortly after he got the second wife, Alice left him, married Paul, and then they all moved down south, moved out, and he was up there for a while longer with his second wife. So,
but then his second wife has since divorced him too, is from what I understand, and I don't know if he's remarried now.
Yeah.
Spooky Micah says this is a great question because Cory's been researching this a lot lately. Well, we both have. Do you know if the AUB has the second anointment? The LDS have it, and it's super secretive, and it involves getting your husband ready for burial.
It's the second anointment.
Second anointment.
Endowment.
Second endowment. It just depends on who you talk to, what they call it, but yes.
Yes, my dear friend Alice. Yeah. The AUB does I'm sure have that too. They've got themselves a temple, and so they get their calling and election made sure, and then nobody can say nothing about them because they're responsible for their own sins.
Then they can do whatever they want, unapologetically for the rest of their life.
That's right.
So
because they've already got their second anointing, which is their calling and election made sure. So now they are basically scheduled to be gods on the other side, and yeah, it's absolutely something that the AUB does too. So if you've got a temple, which they do, or an endowment house, then they're going to fulfill all of the endowments that Joseph Smith set up, which was the second anointings also. So
yeah, and they do that. A lot of offshoot polygamist communities do that too, which blew my mind. I didn't even realize that so many other offshoots. I thought you had to have like a temple or an endowment home to do that, but apparently you don't. And so, it's very common for a good chunk of polygamous people to go through the second endowment and second anointing. But it's not talked about at all. In fact, you guys ask us about our stuff back here. Here, we'll just give you a little bit of so this little nugget right here, I actually bought this at the Tomb of Christ in Israel. And it's called a tear jar, and women's tears are supposed to be like the most sacred thing on the planet. And so they sell these only in one place in the world that I'm aware of, and it was the Tomb of Christ. And so I bought them back in Israel I went in 99. And this is why women keep their hair long, is for the second anointing, the second endowment, and then they use their tear jars to wash the feet as part of the process of it. And so it's part of, I'm not going to go into all the details of it because I know a lot of people who hold that ceremony very sacred. But you can Google it and it will walk through it. But this is one of the little things I put on the shelf back there because
it's on Reddit too. I think that's where I read it. Reddit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So that's part
second
of the
anointing
process
is,
is
and so-
women using their hair, Mary washed the feet of Jesus with her hair. So yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
he's got his
in symbol.
second. He's got his second endowment. His calling and election made sure, and then the women wash their hair, connecting themselves to his kingdom. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's ritualistic. It's
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we won't go into a lot of details, but you can guess, you can definitely do the research on that. Somebody says, so why did Robin's bio dad give up parental rights and let her be adopted? I didn't know that he adopted them. I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either.
I don't
But
think,
I don't know.
He stayed legally married to his first wife all the way up until his passing, is my understanding. But I don't think that they were ever legally adopted.
Yeah. Yeah, because he would have had to divorce his first wife and legally marry. And that's probably where the idea came up, because, yeah, I don't think the first wife would have approved that. So, hey, Robin, get in there and see if you can convince the first wife to give up her right under the guise of we're going to legally adopt these other kids. So I don't know. They might have. I'll have to ask my friend if that ever happened. I doubt it did. I don't think it did. So
yeah,
they'd have made a big deal about it.
Yeah.
So
I would be very, very surprised if that happened. Ellen says, I first questioned. Oh, Ellen is a granddaughter of Owen. Okay, thank you. I'm glad. I don't know who you are, and maybe I do. I'm sorry. I've had so many people from the AUB reach out to me, and so I'm trying to keep people. But it says, I first questioned when Grandpa Owen preached at the pulpit that the only acceptable abortion were if it were pregnant with a African-American man's baby. Oh gosh, I hope he didn't say that. I don't remember him saying that, but I wouldn't unfortunately be surprised. Oh, I'm sorry. Kind of hurts my heart. We've avoided having some of the bigger racism conversations here because they are so.
they exist. So
Yeah, and they're so emotionally big. So we haven't really gotten into a lot of them. But the AUB is very racist.
Yeah, the church changed their stance on it in 1978. The AUB has not. So the AUB still believes that. And that's what I was saying. But the AUB even goes further than that on who can get the highest blessings. They're religious. They're racist, but they're racist against the Black community. They're racist against many different communities and Gentiles. And I mean, there are some people that aren't even allowed to come in to be a part of the AUB because of their family history. Somebody that might have apostatized, or my kids probably won't be allowed to go into the AUB for 7 generations because I've been so outspoken against the AUB. So, which is a good thing for me, but it would take 7 generations underneath me before they would be allowed to get the highest things, because I've spoke out against the AUB about the belief systems, things like that.
Yeah.
This is some people's belief systems. Other people
They're not just
care.
racist towards just the Black communities. They're racist towards what did we say that it was? It was spiritual racism.
Yeah.
If they don't feel like you're spiritually even up to standard or up to par, then you are definitely treated. Well, you're not allowed to join.
Yeah. You have to earn your way up in degrees of glory. Even if you come in and you're allowed in and you're living things, if you fail for any reason within the AUB, your kids have to try to redeem your failures. And those families that have been in for generations, they can trace their generational thing back to Joseph Smith in the beginning, or somebody within. When,
That's polygamous royalty right there.
That is royalty. Those people have been faithful for generations now. That gives you a higher ranking.
Right.
So
right.
Those people, like my parents who came into it, they were the first generations coming into it. They're even judged in some ways. So
I can't believe your dad was the first generation to come in and he didn't make it on a council. Like, my dad's the first generation, and dude, he went straight to the top.
He had way more wives than your dad too.
I know.
So
he did. My dad just didn't sweet talk him the way your dad did.
That's right. He almost had 10.
Right. Yeah. Your dad was a smooth talker. Yeah. Somebody says, did you ever have your kids go to the Mormon church after you got together? So yes, we did. We actually went to the Mormon church for the first 3 years of our marriage, maybe 4. No, well, we were pretty active all the way up until our first child together was born, and she was baptized. And so I would say we were probably pretty active for the first 7 or 8 years of our marriage. And then we stopped.
I wouldn't say active. We went occasionally, probably because I had a talking to before I could, I could bless.
So we ended up leaving the Mormon church, just went inactive. We're still members. We're just inactive. We don't actively participate in anything.
Haven't done anything to get excommunicated yet. I guess I haven't watched this, so.
No, we just definitely we stopped taking our children to organized religion when our oldest was probably 15. So yeah, just a few years into our marriage. Deanna asks, how old is the AUB? It was formed in 1950 by Christine's grandpa, Rulin Allred. What's funny is, I guess in the book, she talks about him delivering her, and he was the doctor at all the births. He delivered me. He delivered Cory. He delivered thousands of babies. What do you say?
That's a trick question. They would say, 1832 when Joseph Smith formed the church or whatever, that they're the original. They have been handed, they have to believe that they've been handed the keys down from the very, very beginning. But I don't even think, I know that the AUB only came about recently. Before, I grew up knowing it as the Allred group. So I don't know when the AUB corporation came about. So
we were unaware that it was called the AUB for most of our lives. We never referred to it as the AUB.
Yeah.
I think that term is more widely used now because of the internet. And so when people want to do searches, that's what they search for.
It's like, oh my goodness, we've got to become a corporation. Let's call it the Apostolic United Brethren, so we don't have to pay taxes as much. So
yeah,
that's where the AUB came. That's just their corporation name, and I don't know when. And it's I don't know when that came about, when they filed their papers for that. So
so we always knew it as the Allred group, or we called it the Allred group, because Rulin was the original founder in 1950s, and then when he was killed, his brother Owen took over. And so Lisa says, I finally made it live. My question is, does the AUB have their own law enforcement, and what are the rules with medical conditions, hospitals, or calling 911 for help? So we'll go over the medical thing first. There really isn't a rule or a recommendation. Like, they're not against medical help if you need it. It's obviously do what you need to do. They have several doctors and their own medical facility that the doctors work at, which I've gone to most of my life. I've taken all my children there.
Under Owen, he wanted the group to blend in with society and get stuff. So a lot of the AUB kids went to college, went and became doctors, nurses,
dentists,
all of them. have it. In fact, they've got had an AUB like doctor thing, and now they've just assimilated into the system, so you can pick an AUB doctor if you want. And
I think a huge portion of it is just people can't afford medical care, and most of them don't have health insurance because the wives don't work, or the dad does work but it's too expensive to put the children on medical. So that's
or he can only claim one wife,
right. And
one group
so
of kids
that's
to be on.
typically why you don't see the prominent healthcare that should be available to all of them. They just can't financially afford it. And then this goes back to my mom having a health food store and her over the top generosity for people. So she would help people all the time because they couldn't afford medical care. And so she would help them. And that's why, yeah, her business wasn't as profitable. In monetary gain, my mom would say that it was extremely profitable in that she was in service to other people. So that's the biggest reason medically. I think that people just don't do it. They just can't afford it. And they just don't have other options available to them. Now, their own police team, no, not that I'm aware of.
Very similar to the medical field. Are there AUB members a part of police forces? Absolutely.
Yeah, we have established a name for that. It's ASS. If anyone missed that, Cory has now renamed it.
That's the protection, profit protection, or whatever.
Oh, well, yeah.
Apostolic Secret Service that works within there. But there are, many AUB members have joined the police force. They are on police forces, not necessarily one set aside for the AUB, but they're on many police forces throughout many different states. Military, lots of are part of the military. I had a brother that joined the military. My father was military. Half of Pinesdale were all ex-military. So so they had joined the Mormon Church after Vietnam, 60s, and then they eventually moved into the AUB. And so, yeah, there were probably 5 or 6 men up in Pinesdale where we grew up that were all Vietnam veterans, and one that was a World War II veteran. So told us tons of stories. So yeah, they're part of the military, they're part of police forces, they're part of medical things. They assimilate very well into normal society.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So no, I don't think that they have their own police force, but I know that that's the problem when you get on these fringe religions is you get these fanatical people in these fringe religions, and it just takes one guy to come in there, and so, yeah, I did grow up watching men carry guns in church. I did grow up watching them carry armed, a lot of men wore weapons and I remember dozens of times going to church and seeing this because there was a threat against Owen. There was a physical threat against Owen at the time from a rival gang member. I'm going to just say gangs because that's what it feels like. But
well, I grew up in Montana, so it was a constitutional carry state. Everybody carried
right
firearms when we grew up. So
right
on their hips. The old timers from down in Hamilton and Corvallis and them, everybody had a rifle in the back of their truck and carried firearms. I grew up, I guess, in a whole different society. So
and where the AUB church is located, it was considered way out in the offshoots of the city. There was nothing built around it, and so it was kind of like the wild west back then. Now it's almost city center. It's crazy to see all the development around the church building. But back then, like if you need to call the police, it takes them 20 minutes to get there, 30 minutes to get there because it's so far out of the city. So yes, they did protect. I mean, when you're in a society where you have rival society, coming after you, then yeah, they did protect themselves. Somebody asks, Is the Book of Mormon a supplement to the regular Bible or a replacement? It's a supplement, I guess, is what you'd say. The Mormons believe that it is a
It's
second testament of Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
That's their tagline.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Trying to get.
You're supposed to read both the Bible and the Book of Mormon. And then once you got those all down, then they have tons of different other doctrines that you're supposed to read. Journal of Discourses, the Doctrine and Covenants, the Pearl of Great Price, they got a ton of information that you're supposed to read and learn about. So
yeah.
And then all these other side books. So
yeah,
if you want to get really indoctrinated, there's way more than 2 books. Bible and the Book of Mormon are just scratching the surface. So.
Yep. So Catherine says, Melanie and Cory, did you know Christine's father? It seems that they had a good relationship. Yeah, we did. In fact, Christine's grandmother only had 3 children. She had 3 boys. She was the midwife with Christine's grandfather. So she helped to deliver me. But so Christine's dad, his little brother, who from the same mom, same dad, was my dad's very best friend. That's how my dad would one of the connections of my dad getting converted into the AUB.
I was only 2 years off.
Where?
Give or take.
When?
1830, not 1832.
Oh.
See, I deleted 2 years, and they are probably important years too of indoctrination. So
yeah.
Deleted tons of stuff.
Yeah, Warren J. Patel says Warren Jeff's groups is the same where men are a part of the police force and medical professionals. Yeah. They want to become self-sufficient. They don't want to ever rely on the government for anything. So they try to be as self-sufficient as possible. I mean,
they want to assimilate with they
right.
used to want just assimilate into society so you wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
But hey, this guy's a professional. He's a police officer on Hamilton Police Force. If you need something, you could call him within the community, you know what I mean? Or
yeah.
So, or she's a nurse. Instead of running down to the hospital to get taken care of, run over to their house. So
yeah.
So stuff set
they
up
have their own banking system. When I bought my very first car, I got my first loan from the banking system. So yeah, they really do try to be
community, what do they call it? Credit union.
Yeah, it was a community credit union. You had to be a member of the AUB in order to be a part of the credit union. Yeah, that was my very first financial account. Somebody and Catherine follows up with that. And in one of the episodes, Christine said when she told her father she was doing everything she could for the family, he asked what Cody and the family were doing for her. I'm not remembering her exact words. Yeah, I mean, I loved Christine's mom and dad, or dad and mom. Her mom was amazing. And yeah, I grew up with them very closely because my dad was best friends with Rex's younger brother. Let's see. Nicole Jacobson says, did you read Educated? They weren't polygamists, but they sounded LDS. I guess not all people have multiple wives. It's like slavery. Only the wealthiest can do it. I haven't even heard of that. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
I haven't not heard of that.
Well, and that's why they wanted united orders. I mean, because when you're out in the world, you do have to be very wealthy to be able to own 2 or 3 homes. Or so if you wanted to live polygamy, and then you would have to kind of apply, but then you're invited into United Order. The United Order would help you build a big home, and then that way you could spend the rest of your life paying that back into the United Order type thing. So yeah, to be honest, I think they put together United Order so more people could become polygamists. So
well, and people ask, why do so many half of Pinesdale is no longer AUB.
Mm-mm.
And the reason why they don't leave Pinesdale is because they have all built their homes on polygamous property. Cory's brother that's on here was a part of one of those communities, and you can't just sell your home.
Oh, yeah.
You can't
Okay.
just move because you don't own the land that your home was built on. And you might have paid for your home, but you didn't pay for the land. And so therefore you can't just pack up. Most of these families don't have the resources to just pack up and leave AUB property, because everything they have, they've put into a home that they don't own the land on.
So they just quit going to church.
Yeah.
So,
and so they just stay in the community, and it's where most of their friends are, most of their
Mhm.
family are. So,
and they're not allowed to get another wife. So
yeah, they're definitely not allowed to get a recycled wife.
that's right.
So many recycled wives. Thank you so much, Catherine, for that super chat. We really appreciate that. So yeah. There's a lot of people who don't ever leave AUB property because they just can't. And if you remember when Brady Williams did his show, that was one of the problems that he had. He has since then left that community and bought another home and built a beautiful home. But that was one of the biggest considerations that he had, was because he has 5 wives and all these kids. And how do you just go find another home? And these homes are built specifically for these ginormous families. And so, yeah, it makes it nearly impossible for these men, or, for these families to relocate. Go ahead.
Well, it says, can the AUB kick out non-members out of their homes?
They can try.
They can try, or they can just make it miserable enough that the people just, I'm done, and they
Seems
leave.
like that was kind of what was happening with Brady.
They just make it miserable. And so, but they're not going to compensate you. Basically, if you want to sell your property, you need to sell it to a worthy member of the group, and
you get pennies on the dollar for it.
You get pennies on the dollar. Well, it cost you in 1971 to build this, and $3,000, so we'll give you $3,000 for the lumber type thing. Well, you can't go out and start a new life with it. You can't sell it on the open market, and so a lot of people will just take what they're given and go start new. So not necessarily kicking them out, but making it miserable enough. And then some people just go, no, we're just going to chill here, and we'll be just a thorn in your side. And so, some people will leave, take the pennies on the dollar and leave. Other people will just stay in those communities and just live their lives as Gentiles and have Gentile children come up and visit them. So,
yeah. Well, and so somebody says, Murray says, the AUB reminds me of the MLMs that we saw the Browns hustle. There are so many MLMs that go through the AUB. It's disgusting. Yeah. It infuriates me. This is why Cory and I never join anything. If even remotely smells of an MLM, we will 1,000 miles away. We will never have anything to do with it. And we've heard a lot of family members' feelings. We've heard a lot of people's feelings, because we just will not tolerate MLMs, because we watch the get quick rich schemes all the time. My ex-husband was always trying to put me in one so that I could finally pull my own weight and contribute to the family financially. And so we will never have anything to do with those. Nope. We work hard for what we have, and we are definitely not about to. But Utah in general is like the highest in the country for MLMs, because it's like, oh, come on, trust your bishop. Come on, trust your 70s priesthood leader or whatever. It's disgusting.
Listen to the prophet, follow the prophet. He says you should join this.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah.
And it's so familiar. It's familiar to them. You donate. Yeah. You don't donate all to the community, and you're going to get a higher kingdom. And that somebody asked that question there. If they donate all of their life funds and everything into the community, are they guaranteed heaven? Absolutely not.
I was just going to say, no, they're not. Your dad did.
You can donate your whole life, and then at the very end, if you don't have your second anointing and your calling and election made sure, you can be excommunicated and cast out and be a Gentile and work it out with the Lord afterwards, with his and your lawyers, to make sure that you get at least
with God's lawyers and your lawyers.
At least get a moon or something like that. I don't know.
Well, and what's so disgusting too about the housing situations and stuff is that most of these kids are born and raised in this religion, and they don't know any different. And so they trust their parents, who trust their leadership, who trust. Yeah. And
yes,
so it's like there's a level of uneducatedness that they just don't know that's even available. It's like you don't know.
Even that.
You don't know that you don't know.
Yeah. You're just doing what you've been trained and taught to do. So you're building, you're creating things, and then all of a sudden you go, wait a minute. You guys are full of crap. And then you're stuck.
And what can you do? Now you've already built your family and built your life.
Yeah. Built your family, built your life on there. And you were trained from birth to do that. And now because they have a new prophet, and the new prophet has new rules, and they changing the rules as they every single time they turn
the
around.
AUB makes up the rules as they go along.
And all of a sudden you're like, no, I'm not going to kiss your priesthood ring, and I'm not going to go through your stuff. And then they're like, well,
yeah,
here's your $3,000, get off our property. And they're like, no, we can't, we're not going to. So
yeah. Well, and Duchess Cinnabon says, do they abandon these homes and then other families move in? Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. They move out, and then the priesthood or somebody,
the priesthood will usually compensate them a little bit,
some walking money,
and then they basically probably, I don't know how the priesthood runs, but I'm sure they're upcharging it and then giving it to somebody new in the community.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's disgusting. And a lot of Cory's siblings are going through this right now, and it's heartbreaking. And what's sad about it for me is that I feel so bad for some of the family members because they don't know. And I feel bad because I hope we never offend some of them, because we definitely don't think they're ignorant. What in my opinion, they just don't know. They were trusting, they believed in the system. So they bought into the system, and of no fault of their own, because this is how they were raised. This is how they were conditioned. This is how they were made to believe was the right way. So it's nothing to their own fault. And that's just what's so sad to me, is that I didn't know any of this until I got divorced from my first husband. And I had no idea. I didn't know you needed your name on property. I didn't know that you needed, especially as a woman in this religion. So no, I had no idea, because you're just taught to have faith, believe in, and don't question your leaders. If you question your leaders, then you need to go get right with God. Go start praying, go get a blessing, go do all these other things. So they purposely keep the members in ignorance about things because they don't want them to understand.
Yeah, you don't want an educated community or a questioning community, or critical thinking community.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and so that is another reason we speak out, because we want people to understand this. When I went into real estate 25 years ago, the first thing I did was went to my mom. Mom, put your name on something. Mom, make sure that you're okay. That was one of the very first things I did. And here's part of the problem. Then I got met with, you don't understand. This is for the family. This is for, you don't understand because you've left now. So you're spewing the ways of the world type thing. And Cory's brother, who was part of the community, says, he wished he could have avoided a lot of financial and spiritual problems by trusting. Oh, that went too fast. By trusting in himself and not relying on the spiritual leaders. But that's the catch-22. The minute you start trusting yourself and not the leaders, now you're becoming wayward. Now you're becoming, you're not as loyal and righteous as the other people. So then you are stuck in this.
You're downloading nefarious revelation.
Exactly.
You're getting it you're thinking for yourself, and they don't like that. Thanks. So blessed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Zero
Oh.
disrespect. It's nothing. Yeah.
Oh, no disrespect. So Blessed Canadian says, no disrespect, but the more I learn about this religion from you, the more it sounds like science fiction.
Yep.
Own planets, creation powers, women can't get into heaven without a husband. It's nutters.
Mhm.
Absolutely it is. And the problem is that they sell you on a burning in the bosom. They sell you on a feel-good feeling. And so how many people watch Sister Wives, and when you see the family come together and you see how wonderful these children are together and you see how much this family loves each other, isn't that what we all want? We all want that sense of community, that sense of belonging, that sense of love and affection, and knowing that, oh, we could love each other forever. And so people are sold this story and then they buy into it and they believe it. And the rationale thinking, in my opinion, goes out the door, because now they're only going with what feels good in their, in their hearts and in their souls. And I remember singing a song in church one Sunday when I was very young. And as I'm singing this song, like my heart's swelling up into the song. And I said to my dad, why does my heart feel like this when I'm singing? And he's like, that's the Holy Ghost giving you an answer that this is true. Now, I'm not denying the Holy Ghost. I'm not denying that that's not true. But these fringe religions play on that and suck you in to, now if you question anything, now you're not worthy of the Holy Spirit. You're not worthy of the Holy Ghost. And so then you start to doubt and question every single thing. Hopefully I didn't go too far off the rail there, but it's sad. It's really sad to see, because I felt that way for years. That's why I went back, is because I thought God was punishing me for leaving. And so I went back for 2 more years because I questioned.
Yeah, it takes a while to unravel the brainwashing you spent 20 years being indoctrinated with. So
Yeah.
And asking questions, and all of a sudden become realizing that not everything you were taught and trained and told was the truth, that a lot of it contradicted itself. So
Yeah. So somebody says, that's what I've learned, that people in these cults are good pleasing people doing what they were taught. The leaders and higher ups are the bad people. Be kind. Well, and that's what's so crazy to me, is I don't understand. These higher ups were once not higher ups. They were once one of the lower. They all had to start somewhere. How do you switch from that? How do you switch from believing everything that you were taught, and then you get put in a higher position and you realize this is a load of shit, and now I'm supposed to sell that load of shit to all these other people because I'm a leader? How do you do that?
because they probably don't believe it's a load of shit. They're still faithful followers. They're just in charge of the shit now. So,
but there's no, I mean, you can't, I don't know. Yeah. This is why I've had some very frank conversations with my dad. Like, tell me, Dad, literally tell me what the sound of, if you're the only person on this planet that can talk to God and hear God's voice, tell me what that sounds like, because I want to know if you're just trying to sell a load of shit to people.
Yeah, Nicole, you're right. So
Nicole says, okay, I'm starting to understand why Cody and Robin are so surprised that they are viewed as villains. What they have done seems to be very status quo. Absolutely.
They are the role. They've been following the role model of getting into heaven. And yeah, it is very status quo. So if you question, if you're, if there's, you are reprimanded. So you are publicly, what did we call it? Public shame.
Public shaming. It's public accountability.
Public accountability. So yeah,
we don't public shame anyone. We just do public accountabilities.
Public accountability here. So yeah, if you start to think for yourself, and these guys are following their teachings to the T, and status quo, creating the community and stuff like that, and they are almost appalled and stunned when somebody like Christine goes, yeah, I'm out of here. I don't want to be a part of this. Wait a minute. Because not only are they going against Cody and Robin and the kingdom and the family that they're doing, she's going against her core belief system that she was trained from birth to follow. That's why they're stunned about that.
Yeah.
And with Mary, it's a little different. He was basically pushing her out. I'll take care of you. I need to, but if you need to go somewhere else, I'm totally okay with that. But I feel like with Christine, it was almost just a slap in his face, because based on their belief system, she should have never wanted to leave. They had built something, and he was the head of that. And how dare her leave? He had sacrificed on trying to love her. It's how difficult to love you, young lady. And I have sacrificed for years just to even love you and have you a part of my kingdom, and you'll walk away. Oh, how dare you? Ungrateful. And it is. That's a core belief system. Yeah, they're stunned. Going against me, going against our belief systems. Shame on you.
Well, I mean,
outer darkness.
Even my dad with my mom, it's like, okay, you're going to leave me. Okay, good luck with that. Go read your scriptures. You could never leave me. I own you for eternity.
There you go.
So that's how these men genuinely feel. And so when these women stand up and say, you won't do this to me anymore, you won't do this to my children anymore, then, I mean, that's why it is so hard to stand up and do that, because you get slapped back down. You get re-educated. You get talked to. You get a lesson in whatever. And it's hard because you really have to find a spine and a backbone to stand up and leave.
Yeah.
And
you're going against your belief system, or how you are trained on getting into heaven. So Cody and Robin's, I feel like both of their belief systems are, you might be able to do this here on earth, but when it comes to the afterlife, Cody's like, I have done nothing wrong. I have been the model priesthood holder, and you will be held accountable in front of God. And then God will have to forgive you, and I'll have to forgive you to be able to
why don't you just forgive yourself right now and do what you're supposed to right now?
Do what you're supposed to do. And so,
Mom, why don't you just do that? Like, my mom is going to have a reckoning one time. And
you can do that here on earth, but you will be held accountable before God. So, and they do. They feel, I have done nothing. I have followed my priesthood leaders and done exactly what we were supposed to do, and it's absolutely okay for me. We're not having children anymore, to set you aside and to pay attention to another wife. So I have done nothing wrong here on this earth. You are the one that's violating our sacred covenant, and you'll be held accountable in front of God later on. And that's their belief system.
Right.
So,
well, and what's interesting to me too is that I understand people, I understand the belief in doing whatever it takes for your belief system. I get that. But one of the leaders literally abandoned a wife and 4 children to come in and now he's a council member. He's one of the top leaders, abandoned a wife and 4 children to come into this religion and be a part of this religion. How is that God's work? That makes no sense to me. And they were small children when he left them. And very, very small children. So how is that God's work? How does that make any sense? But again, people from the outside, and you see this on all the documentaries, you see this when people interview, FLDS, then they're convinced you just don't understand. You're uneducated. This is part of God's plan. So then they're so convinced that what they're doing is right. And you're the uneducated one. You're the one that doesn't understand. So, what are you laughing at?
Christine, the kidney slayer. Thanks, Ann. That is awesome. Yep.
Yeah. Bunny says spiritual releases for everyone. Yeah. That's funny. Someone says, I read on Reddit that Robin's uncle daddy, so Paul, was a midwife too. Is that true? Supposedly in Christine's book. I have never heard that. I have no idea if that's true. Maybe he was medically trained. I don't know that he was trained in midwifery, but I have no idea. I've never heard that. But you know more of that. I don't know that family. So
I never saw that growing up. So
Yeah, I've never heard that.
but we as kids weren't invited into much. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that. I'm not saying it's not a possibility. I just have never heard that. Nicole says it's not ignorance; it's blind faith, and that's true. And we are taught our entire lives from tiny, tiny children that the more blind faith you have, the more you will be rewarded in heaven. And so it's like it's just a perpetual state of ignorance or blind faith, because if you never question, you will be rewarded in heaven. So I did a video a couple of years ago on us versus them. And it's like an us versus them mentality. Why is it, how groups of or societies like this, they do get an us versus them. You see it in every single society. And so I used to be a part of the us, and we used to judge the them, and we would say, why would I want to be friends with you? You're not part of us. You're not part of the beautiful people. You're not part of the AUB, the chosen people. So why would I want to be a part of you? And then I left the AUB, but then I went back to the AUB, and so
you become some of us.
I did. I became them, and I wasn't part of us anymore. And then when I went back, I became part of us, but a lower part of us, because I dared question in the first place. And so my faith was not blind. My faith was not all endearing. My faith was not 100%. And so because I questioned, I can now be welcomed back into the us part of things. But I will be, and thank God that every degree of heaven has 3 degrees in there. So you've got celestial, terrestrial, and telestial. In the celestial, you have 3 different degrees. I wouldn't have made it to the highest one because I questioned it in the first place and left in the first place. So I would have been maybe allowed to go into the celestial kingdom, but I was at the lower part. I'm no longer, I'm the black sheep of the us now. And so that's where you never want to be that person. And so you don't question, you just do what you're told. You just do because you want to be the one that has 100% faith all the way out of the womb. Never question anything. And this is how cults and, this is how high demand religions start controlling people, is exactly this way. Because do you really want to have all of the blessings? Then right out of the womb, never question. Just do what you're told.
Yeah, you need to be listening to those that have been set aside, and they are never wrong. So
yeah,
there's a reason that they're saying and teaching you what is going on right now, and you shouldn't be questioning that.
Right.
So
right,
you should sit back and be the student. The teacher is
speaking,
and
he's not saying that this is a load of shit. So let me try to catch up a little bit. We will probably go for like another 15 minutes or so. Let's see.
Kendall said something in there.
Yeah. So Kendall says, one of the main reasons my family left the AUB is we didn't want our children to be of this life. It's very hard to be at best to try to live. Yeah. I don't envy people who get into this lifestyle, get multiple wives, and then choose to leave. That is got to be one of the most gut-wrenching things to go through.
Yeah. Hey, Kendall or Curtis or Katie, how many nieces and nephews do we have? So that's a good number. Kendall probably knows those numbers. So
yeah. Let's see. Catherine says, I'm thinking, despite the fact that women are much more oppressed, the men in those lives probably feel pretty miserable, and they take it out on their women. It's an unhappy life inherently. And I would 100% agree with that. I feel like my dad would come and project his anger onto my mother's children, and had nothing to do with us. And we didn't understand that as children. We hadn't seen our dad in 4 or 5 days, and then he comes home and beats the ever living crap out of us, and we don't know why. And so, yeah.
1647. That's probably accurate.
1,600.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a high stress for everybody involved in these lifestyles. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the way up to even being the prophet of the AUB is very, very stressful, because then you got disobedient children who run podcasts and and that's
And then
stressful
you
to
blow
him.
up on
Yeah,
them
then you
and-
have to throw a tantrum. So it's stressful for even the prophets of these AUB, because they're expected to relay the word of God and hope they don't mess it up. So
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. So it's hard.
I'm not the prophet. So
It is there. Everyone wants to be upset with Robin because of the way she treated Hunter. But this is something that does happen when a wife gets upset with another wife. A lot of times she will project that onto those children, onto that other wife's children. And so that is this is another reason why we always encourage healing on our channel, because when you heal, then you will recognize when you're projecting and you can stop it. You can say, I won't do this anymore. I won't perpetuate this behavior anymore. And so, but if you're unaware that you're even doing it, then you are projecting your anger or projecting your frustrations or your sadness onto people, again, bleeding on people who did not cut you. And so that's why we say that a lot. If you go and do your healing work, then you won't bleed on people who didn't cut you. And so that is one thing that we try to talk about a lot. And that is why. Bunny says, I hope you two will be covering the book. Reddit is on fire with it. I guess we're doing a book club. So
yeah.
we're
I
gonna
actually want to read it. I'd love to hear her point of view, what she went through in the process. So yeah, I watched it as a kid. So yeah, I'd love to see her point of view from actually being a wife in the AUB.
Yeah.
I've never been a wife. I've never been a husband in the AUB. I've never been a polygamist in the AUB, just a kid. So
yeah, no kidding. I've never been a sister wife, but I've been a sister dater. That didn't even sound good. We dated a sister wife for a minute. Oh my God, I just need to stop talking.
Yep.
That's not going anywhere.
Yeah, you're sounding more and more like a predator.
Okay, Christina asks, why do the Browns or the AUB members display pictures of the Salt Lake Temple when they can't go inside of it and they have their own AUB endowment house?
Because the AUB endowment house is ugly from the outside. So it just looks like a home. So they're going to get the temple. Well, because the temple represents the house of the Lord, that one day the AUB and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will come together when Jesus comes back, and they'll all be welcomed back into the temple to do the temple work. And they've got a barn dominium version of it down here where they can get their temple work done until they're allowed back into the big house. So
yeah, they do believe. I was taught my entire life that the AUB has the true priesthood, that the Mormon church or the LDS church is the mother church. The priesthood is the father, masculine energy. The church is the feminine. And one day they will be reunited. And people will be able to go through the temple who are worthy, who they feel like are worthy again. And so my entire life, I was taught to be very respectful of the LDS culture and faith. I was taught to be, we couldn't say negative things about the church. When we prayed as a family, we always knelt down and prayed towards the Salt Lake Temple. So if we were south of the temple, we prayed north so that we faced the temple. We were always taught to pray towards the temple. Because they do believe that we will, that the AUB and the
the AUB and the church will
be reunited, and people will be able to go through the temple again. And
then Ellen said Owen used to teach that the temple was still sacred.
Yeah.
Just not as sacred as ours because
they aren't living the full covenants. Exactly. And so when the church and the priesthood are reunited according to AUB beliefs, they will go in and rededicate the temple at that point so that everyone would be worthy to go through it. And then they'll continue temple work from that. So that's what I was always taught. And so they always keep pictures of Jesus Christ. They always keep pictures of their current prophet, not of the Mormon church's current prophet.
Well, a lot of times they have like the different pictures of the prophets, but they just show where their split is. So
yeah.
So from the LDS church, verse down, and then split off of they just show their prophets through the genealogy of their prophets, who they feel like the keys of the priesthood pass through.
Right.
So
yeah, they do believe basically so many of the same teachings as the Mormon church. My little sister just jumped on too. I've got quite a few family. So does Cory. It's nice to have so much family members on here. My little sister said, I started questioning the church at 11 years old. I got my ass beat for it and then forced to attend girls class and girls camp of 2003 and the YOZ camp. YOZ means Youth of Zion, which all three traumatized me. So yeah, my dad forced religion. He didn't have to force it on me as much because I complied and got married that way, but he had to force it on a lot of my younger siblings. And that was not pretty for some of them. Some of them did go through physical abuse to ensure that they went to church when they were supposed to. And I loved that my mom stood up for the younger ones, because she finally hit a point where she was just like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm not making them go. And she decided to stand up for the younger generation. So most of my younger siblings never really had to do a whole lot of the church thing.
It is a family reunion today on live. This is awesome.
Is that what someone says? It's family reunion.
Jacob Hill said family reunion. I'm trying to keep up with what all my family's saying, so it's kind of cool. So
Catherine says, thank God for disobedient children, Cory. Good thing you were disobedient, huh?
That's right.
So
you're the disobedient one. You're the prophet's daughter who's being disobedient. So
I know I'm not.
You're the, thank God for you.
I'm not following the demands right now. Having a man, okay, Patsy says, having a man come into the family home and ends up beating the kids is heartbreaking. Sounds like he's taking his frustrations out due to living a polygamous lifestyle. I would absolutely say that. I don't remember, I say this, there's one time I remember my dad coming home that we didn't get beat, and it was my sister's birthday. Other than that, every time my dad came home, we got it pretty hard. Let's see. Jaxie says, I got sick to my stomach when I saw the engagement portrait in the home while Garrison's picture is still in the garage. Yeah, that's tragic. I mean, that's what's so funny to me is it's like you have the most inappropriate picture ever in this lifestyle ever, and then you double down on it. And not only do you, this size of this picture looks like they 10 times down on it. And then the amount of money that costs to have that made for them is disgusting.
How very sweet of you to call it the engagement picture. So
you called it the fornication. Yeah. Cory called it the fornication picture.
Yep. This is where it begins. So
yeah. That made me so disgusted, especially because Christine had to take him to court for child support. Well, again, he's not the exception to the rule. He is what every other polygamous man that I know of is like.
He's just putting assets out there, and he had to get that's what the funniest part about the picture. Yeah, that he was in tears when he had to sell that car because he knew what went on in the back seat of that car. So that was
she does say that. She does say we have a lot of good memories in that car.
Yeah.
That's a sad thing. People have asked us in the comment section, do most polygamous men drive cars like that? No, they don't. Cody has always been a showboat since the minute that I ever met him. But would I say that the polygamous men drive nicer cars than anyone else in the family? Absolutely. But do they drive convertibles like that? Cody's the only, I can think of one or two other men that would drive a convertible. One of them had I probably shouldn't even say this, but what the hell? The license plate said something like, oil guzzler or something like that. And it was a red convertible. And it was always, I'm like, how do you justify that when you literally have children at home who are on food stamps. How do you make that happen? Bunny says, I've never heard anything bad about Robin's stepdad, but I've never heard anything nice about her mother. That's very strange. Where's your big mouth now, buddy?
God. I know are you looking for something nice about her mother from me? Because you're probably not going to get it. So yeah, I have nothing nice to say about her mom.
Yeah.
I wish her the best.
Yeah.
So glad she didn't marry into our family. So glad. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody says, Mel, are
Cody
you saying
took the bullet for all of AUB? So
who did?
Cody.
Oh, for Robin. Oh, I thought you meant, I was like, wait, were we talking about her mom?
Yeah.
So someone says, Mel, are you saying your dad's picture is hanging in people's homes? That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buddy prophet.
That's why Cory
They got the buddy prophet in their homes.
That's why Cory wants to make an animated. You should make an animated picture of the buddy prophet.
The buddy prophet. Hey.
Yeah, that's funny. Bunny says, I'm so glad my parents fulfilled their religious duty by sending us to Catholic school, and that was it. Thankful it was still traumatizing enough.
Bless
Yeah.
her heart. Absolutely bless her heart.
Yeah.
So.
My sister says my mom started standing up for her when she started questioning it. I love her for it. Oh, absolutely. You know, my mom didn't have a voice when her older kids were younger. She didn't know that she had a voice. And so I've watched my mom stand up for, she had 11 children, and the first of us, you know, she didn't know how to stand up. She was just as abused as we were. And so I was grateful to see her start standing up for some of the younger kids. And so absolutely, she started to support and stand up for some of my younger siblings, which I am so grateful for. But us older kids, she didn't even know she had the option to stand up for us. So yes, I would say that there is, what are you looking for? Oh,
Victoria's right over
the
there.
Victoria doll. Yeah, she's right over here.
All our Halloween decorations are getting ready to get set up.
Yeah. Our house looks like Halloween already because we had grandbabies come over and we kept them overnight, and we're going to be gone to Montana, and our youngest thinks that Halloween should be up for 2 solid months. So we put up most of Halloween last weekend. Was it last weekend? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. My dad's picture is hanging in people's houses right now.
Do they have to pay for him, or is it part of the?
Oh, I'm sure they have to pay for pictures of my dad. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I just show them a tithing receipt and you get a picture.
No, I'm sure that they sell them in the Bishop's storehouse thing that they have.
Oh, cool. That'd be fun to get.
Valerie says, after hearing how your father recently treated you, Mel, it shows shades of a mob. Absolutely. The way he treated me in public is absolutely disgusting. And I'm sad for him that he is that angry of a person. Like, my heart hurts for his heart. Somebody says, do you think that your siblings who are still in the AUB will ever leave the cult? Probably not. Out of the 34 children that I grew up with, there's only 4 that are active. So they're pretty solid. 4, maybe 5 that are active, and they're pretty solid. I don't think they're going anywhere. Let's see.
No, I think we've got. No.
What are you saying?
I think there's 3 of my siblings that are still part of it, and they're pretty solid. One's a second wife. One only has 1 wife. The other one has 2 wives. No, they'll probably stay faithful to the AUB unless something drastic happens. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to bring out our Victoria doll. We have, for those of you that are new, we have, when the whole doll scandal with Robin came out, we have a doll that I collected when I was younger, and she gained a lot of dust and dirt, and we had her on the show right after Robin's whole scandal came out. So we are probably going to start decorating some of this stuff for the holidays. We are huge holiday people around here. But my sister, Emily Lee, look how cute this is.
I love Halloween.
Gave this to me for my birthday recently. And it is 444. And it's a candle that says 444 for protection. The universe and your spiritual guides are protecting you. So we put this back here because I thought it was so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, we'll probably put Victoria up here for the holiday season.
It gave her a shield of positivity.
Yeah.
So her dad's negativity just pinged off of it. So
someone says, Melanie, does your dad have any underage children now or unmarried girls still in the AUB? Not biologically, no. His youngest is 20. She just turned 25. She just turned 25. And that's his youngest. She's unmarried. But no, he does not have any young girls, thank goodness, in there. The woman that he married does have a young girl, however. Jinsey said, okay, we're going to go about 5 more minutes and then we got to go. But Jinsey says, you said that the church didn't want them to do the show. Did Cody drift away from the church and start claiming they weren't part of it anymore? Or did they face church discipline for what they were doing with the show? I don't think they were ever really disciplined. It was just they were strongly advised not to do the show. And they just went against that advice. And so for years, Robin kept going back to my dad for counseling on how to handle it, because I can't even imagine the pressures of living this lifestyle in the first place. And then you go put it on public display, and then you get public ridicule and public outcries and all that. I can imagine the stress that went on in that family. Even amongst the wives, it's no wonder that family didn't survive it. So, I couldn't imagine that they would. So,
I think they just slowly went away. That's the thing. You're usually in a nice, tight, closed community. You're going to church every day, getting reinforced that what you're doing is right, all of that stuff. Then when you leave and you get away and you're not getting that constant re-education, that constant updating, and then all of a sudden the people that you've known there the whole time, a prophet dies and a new one comes in and you're not going to church and he's sounding more and more different from the last prophet, then you just slowly drift away from the AUB. And that's what I think they did. So
yeah. So no, I definitely can see why that family fell apart. There's a couple comments about Big Love. I loved the series Big Love. I think eventually we will watch that and we'll do commentary on that, because I loved that show. Again, it was picked apart from a bunch of different families, a bunch of different people, and we would watch the storylines and we'd be like, oh, we know who that is. Oh, we know who that is. So that was it. That was really fun to watch. We loved that show.
And if you want to see me on Big Love, when they go out to the compound, I was one of those snot-nosed little kids running around.
Yeah. Somebody says, would you forgive your dad if he asked and if he turned away from the cult?
He never would.
He's
would. The prophet. Will you turn away from your own divinity? I cannot turn away from my own divinity. I'm the Lord's mouthpiece. They would all fall away from the Lord if I turned away. So
this is where Cory Snark really comes out. But if he ever came, even if he kept his position in the AUB and came and asked for forgiveness or even asked for dialogue, and had like a rational adult conversation that was healthy, then I would probably interact with him. But I won't interact with him when he's at the toxicity that he is right now. I won't have anything to do with him. I won't even acknowledge it. And I have a couple siblings who are at that same level of toxicity that I won't even acknowledge them either. I won't have any. I just won't put myself in that energy or that vibration. So
if you believe that he's the mouthpiece of the Lord, their Lord right now is an angry little elf. He needs to have a spa day. So
Tammy says, you both seem so much lighter and freer from the emotional dad outburst, joyful, glowing countenances. The energy has changed and it can be felt. You all are loved. Thank you.
Yeah,
it was intense. And honestly, that's what I was telling Cory on the way home from the wedding last night, is just that I'm sad because my energy was very low because I just had gotten done with surgery. This is my first public outing. This is the first time I've been in public, and he wants to, attack me at a funeral. And so, that was shocking in any circumstances. But then even I couldn't process it quickly enough because my body was healing. I was still healing. But yeah, I'm totally different place now. So thank you so much. There's been so much healing that has gone on in the last couple of weeks. So
Ellen says AUB has a 4.4 on the Google review. I think that's for the average of wives. So they're competing against the FLDS, who has an average of 7.8, versus the order that has like 5.3 wives, sisters for cousins.
That's funny.
So yeah, I think it's a wife rating system on Google. So
I'm gonna have to look that up. That's hilarious. So Jenny says, caught my first live. Did Robin have to get a release when she left her first husband in order to marry Cody? So no, because she did not marry her first husband in the AUB temple endowment house.
She was only married for time with him.
So nope, she did not have to do anything like that. She was able to just marry Cody.
Also, I will absolutely read the book. I'm excited to read it. So
yeah, we'll do a book club.
Some good commentary.
I'll look and see. Maybe we'll have Emily come over and we'll do some lives in the book club. Lamb says, was it tradition in either of your families to have your dads take your sisters to have their ears pierced? Or is this just another dumbass thing that Cody does? No, my dad almost beat me to death when I got my ears pierced. I was almost 16.
Yeah.
And I just went and I had the fear of God in me when he found out.
Your bodies are temples. You're not supposed to be punching holes in God's temples. So.
Yep. Nope. And a lot of people that have joined the AUB after they've already had their ears pierced and stuff have pulled their earrings out to let them grow back in.
Yeah, I'll probably read her book like I used to read when I was a kid, the scriptures with my little highlighter, and put in my snark in the comments so I can comment on it. I'll give you guys some good stuff. I'm excited to read the book. I'm sure she's got it full of
I hope so.
Some good snark. She has been funny. I mean, growing up with her, she was hilarious. She'd keep you on your toes. So I'm sure it's going to be an amazing book. I'm excited to read it. So
yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Elsa. Is that what you were reading earlier? Sorry, Elsa. Cory should read the book here and give us commentary. I think we're definitely going to, I'm going to have to look into the mechanics of doing a book club online, but I definitely think we will do that. I think it'll be, I'm curious about it too.
No. So she gives the whole purity speech. Because of her whole purity speech, they couldn't have been married in the AUB because just like her second marriage, she lost her purity before they went through. They just lied about it this time.
Oh my gosh.
They just lied about it this time and got to go through the AUB temple.
Allegedly,
yeah.
In your opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion.
For entertainment purposes only.
Yeah. That back of that car was well broken in. So.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Jenny says, we'll answer this one last question and then we will let you go.
Not pure sweet Robin. She would never do that the first time or the second time. So
yeah. Or if she did it the second time, would not memorialize it by a painting that's worth tens of thousands of dollars.
Exactly.
She would not have done that. She says, how was Robin able to get married in the church but not sealed? She wasn't married in the church. They weren't married. They were probably just married by a local judge. Would she not have been a step below since she had previously been married? Not necessarily if she wasn't married in the temple. What are you doing?
Patel says, yeah, it's easier to lie about it when you're not pregnant. Yeah, exactly. When there's no proof of it.
She was pregnant.
Than the car. Yeah. Other than that sticky car of theirs. So.
Oh my gosh. Jeez. Yeah, and she finishes the thought with, especially since she wasn't pure in her first marriage. But that's why she gave the purity speech. That's why she did all this, because you can see that she has a repentive heart. And obviously the atonement of Christ is meant for people like Robin. And she's, yeah, and she has worked that angle pretty good. So, yeah, so we will go and see if we can find the book, and we will definitely do a book club on it. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll, somebody says, Cory, your snark is on fire today, and I'm so here for it.
Oh, thanks.
It's funny because that's what I was telling him. We have toned it way down. The things that we say before we come online, I'm afraid will get us kicked off YouTube.
Yeah.
And we don't want to hurt people that we love. And so we do tone it down a little bit. Cory's sister Katie said earlier, Mel and Cory tone it down a lot. I don't know if I could. But I definitely think she could. But we try to be careful because we don't want to hurt people that we love. But yeah, half the time we start our videos, we're laughing as we're starting them because this is our commentary before we get going.
And Mel's dad gave me permission to be as snarky as I want. So I'm going to take that permission and run with it. So
when he talked to me in public the way he did, Cory's like, okay,
permission.
Here we go. Yeah.
But she'll still be the third.
But will she be the third time with next hubby Mel's dad?
Would you call her Mama Robin?
Yeah. So my mom was here at a live we were doing one. She was sitting off to the side here. And I was like, what would you think if dad married, let's say Robin left Cody and wanted to go back to the AUB and marry dad? She's like, I'd say he deserves her. So, so funny. Yeah, let's, I don't know. I think my dad already has one or two Robins in his family, and he's getting his ass kicked by those two right now. And that's probably why he's such an angry. Okay, again, this is where the projection comes in. He's getting his ass kicked by his two Robin wives. And then I walk in trying to be nice to him, and the fool freaks out on me in public. And so again, he's projecting his emotions onto me while his real anger is at those women who are causing his life such misery. If he married Robin, he'd have 3 of them. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It'd be fun to watch, huh?
Yeah, it would be.
So we would definitely love that. We'd love watching that.
At least he'd have 3 wives in harmony.
Oh my gosh.
So definitely get himself into that higher kingdom. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, somebody says, please don't start the book club until mine comes in on the 2nd. Oh, we wouldn't.
Yeah,
no,
we would get ours first.
We'd have to get a copy of it first. We don't have a copy of it. We'll look for one this weekend and see if we can find one available. Maybe Emily, can you get us a copy of the book early? So I don't know if she can or not. But I know Barnes & Noble is selling them early. So we've got a couple. We got 2 different Barnes & Nobles real close to us. So maybe we'll swing in there and look into it. But what would be awesome is the audio book while we were driving.
Yeah. But
that'll be awesome. So for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, this has been a super long live. We are going to be driving. And so we're going to do a Q&A while we're driving. And but over there on Instagram. So if you guys want to follow us on Instagram, we do a little bit more daily updates over there. I try to do more updates. I forget sometimes, but I'll do a Q&A and drop the Q&A box into the stories, and you can go on there and ask us any questions you want while we're driving. And then we'll make a video while we're driving and answer your questions.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
That does.
Yeah.
So give us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Likes. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
We're getting back on the algorithm, coming back. So
yeah, thank you guys for sharing us.
Thank you for sharing.
We are starting to come back on the algorithm, but man, I was like, I don't know how many people were even notified that we were going live today, because normally I'll do a post. So watch for those posts, because I'll schedule the live and then I'll turn around and repost it on YouTube and just start making some comments and stuff on it. So watch for those if you guys want to join us live. Wednesdays typically tend to be our best day to go live.
Yes, you do, Jay Patel.
Yeah. And so watch for that, and we'd be happy to answer some of those questions on our lives, or email us if you have another question you want us to answer. We are actually going to be doing answering we've gotten quite a few emails. We got one email, and I promise, from a Rebecca, I promise we're going to answer that. I haven't ignored it. But we want to do a video and stuff like that. So we'll be creating those too. And then we will definitely be doing Special Forces, and we will definitely be doing season 20 of Sister Wives. We'll be doing both of those. And we still are watching season 4, and we will drop our first video on season 4 probably tomorrow, I'm thinking. So we'll be watching for that too. So thank you guys. This was a great live. We love all your participation. We love all your questions. They're fun to answer. Again, email us if you have anything else. Thanks to all of our family who was on here.
Yeah.
So that was fun to have so much of our family on here. And I love it too when our family's on here, and if we don't know an answer, they'll answer it for us, or if we get it wrong in any way, they'll correct us.
They can look it up really quick for me. So
yeah, so we appreciate that too. So
funeral potatoes are everywhere.
Yeah, right? That is a huge Mormon thing too, though.
And polygamous.
Yeah. So all the family that were on here, we are so excited to see you soon. We are coming to the wedding, and we will see everyone soon. We will see you on the next live. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks, guys.